All right, does anybody have anything they need to do before I hit the button?
No, I already pooped.
Time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 253 of Born to be Wild, a wild Hearthstone podcast where we have fun, hanging out with friends, talking about the wild formats of Hearthstone, and spotlighting members of the wild community. I'm your host, Hydralisk. It's great to be back on a wonderful Friday evening here in beautiful British Columbia. I'm joined by fellow hosts, ElectricSheepCity,
Meowdy.
and Schmoopydady.
Well, that wasn't deodorant.
And for the first time on Born to be Wild, introducing our special guest, May. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hi.
Hi.
Excitement abounds. So for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs. And the video version of this podcast is posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all of the podcast apps. So however you are watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes.
Content plug, Schmoopydady. Before we get into the main topic of the show tonight, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video on YouTube. Another simple way to support the show is to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching live on Twitch, we've got some awesome emotes that you can unlock by subscribing to the channel. This is free if you use Amazon Prime. Finally, if you'd like to support the show financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 per month. We have some channels in the Discord that are unlocked by subscribing to the Patreon, where you can see the show coming together each week. Check it out. If you'd like to interact with us personally, please join our Discord, a free and amazing online community of friends from all across the world who love talking about wild Hearthstone. Links to all this stuff and more, including our merch, can be found on our website, which is www.borntobewildhs.com. Guest interview.
Yeah, so we have a guest this week. So as you heard in the intro, introducing May. So what we like to do when we start out the guest interview section, which we always do at the beginning, is just to ask, tell us as much or as little about yourself as you would like.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, everybody. I am May, also known as Tyler Knife. I am blind, as well as I have a hearing impairment. I'm autistic. Basically, at some point, I guess I decided that like disabilities are kind of like Pokemon, and I needed to catch them all.
Well done.
Complete
But-
that, Dex.
I don't know. I have been blind. Really, that's like my like trademark thing. Since I was 6 years old. I lost my vision due to a condition called hydrocephalus, which basically is fluid that builds up on the brain. I had a brain tumor that blocked the ventricles, and so fluid built up on my optic nerves, and eventually that led to blindness. And it was actually really interesting because at the time, my mom didn't know quite what was going on. My family was very very conservative. My mom was from Texas, and so as a kid, I very much was raised to say like, yes, ma'am, no, sir, please and thank you. And then all of a sudden, I started acting very differently. And so she had took me in to a doctor, and then the doctor recommended that she take me to get a CAT scan. And I don't really remember this too much. I just kind of heard it secondhand, but the doctors came out and they said, hey, just wanted to let you know, like, you have two choices. Either your child could die or they could have emergency surgery. Like, it's really up to you. Um,
Wow.
and obviously, we did the emergency surgery. And yeah, life was interesting. Living as a blind kid in a rural part of a state that didn't have a lot of resources for blind folks. But I was very fortunate because even though they didn't want to teach me Braille, because according to them, Braille was obsolete, they did give me a screen reader, which is a software designed to allow blind people to use computers. And by age 14, I ended up getting a full time job as a software engineer, working within accessibility. And yeah, I mean, that led to a career. So can't complain too much.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool that it led you to a career in that way. That's an amazing story. And at some point throughout this, you decided that you were going to play this wonderful game that we all play called Hearthstone. So, how did that happen? Like, when did you start playing Hearthstone?
Yeah, so it was actually probably like the last thing that I ever wanted to do. Um, I had a really good friend of mine who unfortunately passed away last year. His name was Brandon Cole. Y'all may have known him. He was in the creator program. His name was Super Blind Man. And Brandon, for years, was essentially the blind ambassador for Hearthstone, trying to get as many blind people to play it
Mm-hmm.
as he could. And we sort of ran in circles because, as um, s- a software engineer focusing in accessibility, we sort of ran in parallel because he was an accessibility consultant for the video game industry.
I
And he
see.
kept telling me, like, hey, you need to check out this game. It's so much fun. And I was kind of a card game snob. I came from playing games like Magic and Flesh and Blood. I was like, no, I'm really not interested. And at the time, I was getting ready to start the Diablo 4 campaign because Diablo 4 was just around the corner. And after 6 months of grinding Diablo 4, putting in about 2,000 hours, and being the fourth ranked rogue player in the world, blind or sighted, I
Whoa.
was a little burned out. And so I finally reached out to him and was like, all right, like, I need something to do. I'm pretty open about it. I suffer from acute anxiety and depression, and I use gaming to sort of escape that. And so I needed something that wasn't Diablo. um,
It's got very
and
dark
Contributing.
themes.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah. um, and so Brandon was like, "Oh, hey, I've actually got this executable file, sitting in Dropbox already, that I've been waiting to give to you to put the accessibility mod on your computer. Like, here, all you have to do is press enter on it, and you'll be good to go." And I was like, "All right, we'll try it." And so, coming from other TCGs, I knew that being somebody who is very much competitively driven, and B, coming from card games, I needed to invest up front if I was going to be competitive and really enjoy the game. And so I spent a lot of money that first week, and my bank account, or my bank thought it was fraud. Um,
Oh no.
And so they actually resent the charges, which, if you're familiar with Blizzard's terms of use, is actually against use. And so my account got banned for the first month.
Oh
Um,
no.
and it
Spend
was
all
so
this money and it's
sad.
banned.
Yeah, I remember raging at Ridiculous Hat and being like, I don't understand. I'm trying to give you money. Why are you guys so backwards? Um, And Hat kept telling me, like, "Be patient, we're working on it, we're gonna get this fixed, like, just relax, it's gonna be fine." And he was right. So I really started playing in February of last year, and I've had a great time ever since, honestly.
That's cool. So you
Can I
mentioned, oh yeah, go ahead, Schmoopydady.
sorry, can I add a humorous aside just as a person who also knew Super Blind Man because he's sort of swung around in Swagwar discords as I was also in Swagwar discords. Um, you never played his decks though, right? Because like you are like a stone cold Spike. You are like a cold blooded killer when it comes to the Hearthstone ladder. And Super Blind Man was just like, look at this cool giant thing I just played, and the funny thing it does, and then would lose the same exact turn. So like you never played Brandon's decks, right?
So actually,
Unlucky. Uh-oh.
um, the first month, even though I only got to Diamond 7, I only played Brandon decks.
Oh no. Oh god.
The very
I don't
first
think you
deck
got to
that
down
he,
seven.
yeah, the only deck he introduced me to at first, but then he kept giving me more because I was like, this is so much fun. Keep giving me more. Was Earth and Paladin. Um, and it was okay there for a little bit, and then some nerfs happened, and it was awful. But it's
Mhm.
still my favorite deck to
It
this
was awful
day.
before, trust me.
I mean, fair.
I that was something that I will always remember about him
Hmm.
was just his like his just pure joy of playing Hearthstone and how much fun he had when he was playing and how he conveyed that and watching some of his streams. Like I've never seen somebody meme as hard as him, which is why when you're like, yeah, I play Flesh and Blood, I play MTG, like I've played some other card games, I know what I'm doing. I'm kind of a Spike, and then you're playing Brandon games, and that's your exposure to Hearthstone. It's hysterical to me because it's like, oh man, dude, girl, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, case in point why I was like, this game is not going to be for me. Um, but honestly, like, it really sort of taught me that like part of Hearthstone is not merely looking how to win, but also finding the joy in diversity, right? Like really looking for like how do I make these cards fun? Because even though like they print 145 cards a set, and we look at them and we're like, oh man, all these cards are horrible. They're never going to be competitively viable. They work in certain situations, and so like if you can figure out like how to have fun with it while losing, which is not fun, um like that really is the key, I think.
Are you, so I'm sure there's people other than me wondering this. So I'm going to ask the question, how does it work? So you received a file that enables you to play the game, right? So how does it work with the cards in Hearthstone? And
Yeah,
like
for
in
sure.
inside gameplay, could you explain the experience, I guess is what I'm asking.
Mhm.
So I think it started in 2017. There was a blind developer named Guy Dev, who started the project, and essentially we being the blind community, self-develop a C sharp accessibility mod that exposes various pieces of the UI, the user interface to the screen reader. So as I am using the keyboard to move from card to card, different pieces of that card are then available. So for example, it'll read out the card name, and then if I press the down arrow key, it'll read out the mana cost, and then if you press the down arrow key again, it'll read some text, and then down arrow again, you can read like uh, the tribe or spell or like the spell school. Um,
Mhm.
and so you're essentially moving from card to card, like geometrically, and then also moving up and down and reading the cards as you're going, which sounds like a lot, but like your
Mm-hmm.
average text to speech for a blind person is reading anywhere between 550 and 980 words a minute. So like we're having to press a lot of keys in order to get the information that you get at a glance, but we're also consuming it very quickly, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but my sister in Christ, I watch you stream. You are playing Dungar Druid at 11x, and you play an Ultimate Infestation, and then you or you are drawing like 9 cards with A&R, and then you are processing all the cards that are coming across the screen at the same time, or you are playing Questline Demon Hunter and ripping a glide in the outcast slot, and then watching as they slowly come in one after one after one after one, and then making a play after that. Like I don't, I still don't. I am still in awe of you, and I know you make misplays because you're not directly seeing the cards. You're relying on a screen reader to do it.
Mhm.
But I still want you to know that it's mental that you're able to play as well as you are able to play with the restrictions that you're dealing with as you're describing them to me, because you're like, oh yeah, I click some keys as the cards are flying across. You're flying like, I have a tough time processing the cards sometimes with visual information because the animations are so slow, and I think I've tried to describe them to you, like especially with like glide. They sort of like very quickly fling across and then stop at the position they would be in your hand in a weird way, so that it kind of jerks your eye as you're looking at it, so you don't actually see what you see until it stops moving. So like it's incredible. You are incredible to me as a player, just how well you play and the conditions you play under, but also like doing all that with a screen reader is just amazing to me. And I wanted to bring it up at some point in the episode, and this seems appropriate because you're describing your process, and I am dumbfounded.
Yeah, it's really interesting too because like I can process the information, but there's a slight delay between the end of the execution of the animation and the processing from the text to speech engine, right? So like I can probably like I can hear, like, for example, swipe is in slot 6 and I want to play swipe, but I have to wait and wait and wait and wait, and then I can finally press enter on it, because the cursor has to fully set before I can play it. And like sometimes, I'll be sitting there and I'll be pressing enter, and my hero will be saying, uh, "No, I can't do that." And I'm like, "Yes, you can. You literally
The
can. It's
program
only 3 mana. Just do it."
the program is too slow for you. You're processing it faster than the program will let you even play. That's crazy. And
Yeah.
by the way, you said that you only made it to Diamond 7 in your first month. There's people that play the game for like a year and don't get to Diamond 7, or longer, right? Like I wouldn't say only. That's really impressive. I played this game for like the first 2 years under the old ranking system, where I don't think I passed rank like 15 back then, when it was just like 20 to 1. I think I lived in the 20 to 15 zone for like at least a year,
Oh, yeah.
or more. Like I did not leave that area.
I think part of it is that, like, I just, coming from playing Diablo 4 at such a high level, I have very high expectations for where I think I should be. And so I just get so frustrated sometimes because I'm like, why am I not good enough? Why can't I do this? But like the reality is like I'm playing well. Sometimes
Mhm.
I was actually reflecting on this earlier today. Like I play so bad on stream when I'm not playing on stream, I'm like locked in, I'm focused because I'm not focusing on, 5 different audio streams and trying to process everything at once and then also play the game. Um, Whereas when I'm streaming, my attention is like everywhere, including on my dog. um, and so
Mhm.
um, I don't know. I'm my biggest critic. Um, I oftentimes think I should be better than I am. And I know if I just play that one extra game, I can get there. But I mean, in 1 year, I've played at this point, I think as of right now, 12,400 games, and I'm sitting at a 51% WR. And that's even while playing meme decks, because unfortunately Brandon did rub off on me, and I can't help but meme. Um, I
That's a
remember
good
I
thing,
was
not a bad thing,
asking,
by the way. That's
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
joking before because I watched him play terrible decks, and I thought to myself, I would never. I play viewer decks, and I would never play some of the things that Brandon played because no, look at the cool thing that I'm going to do right now. So that's awesome. That like don't
yeah,
lose that. That's fun.
it was really funny because like I was really feeling down about my play about 2 months ago. 'Cause I looked at my lifetime stats and I was like, why am I only at 50%? Like this is frustrating. Um, and I
That's
asked,
normal. It's so normal.
well, I asked a really good friend of mine, Ron Mexico, a fellow member of Amber Flight Gaming, hey Ron, what can I be doing better? And he said, hey, honestly, if you're really interested in improving your win rate, stop memeing. But I can't. Like it's just, you know,
I mean,
Hearthstone is supposed to be fun, so
yeah, buddy.
I think if everybody, I don't think there's, you have to be an insane player to have much higher than 51% lifetime. Most people, if you check your stats, are probably between like 48 to 52% lifetime. If when that first came out, then you could check your lifetime. We were all doing it, all checking it, and most people were in that zone. Unless you were Schmoopydady that was conceding yourself to the bottom
I
dumpster.
might be at 51. I might be
I
at
thought it was
50.
like 27.
No, I wasn't that bad. Excuse me. Excuse you, sir.
so there's
That's hilarious, though.
I'll admit this guilty pleasure. So there's an achievement that I'm still trying to beat my record. That like when you beat it, it will update. But it's called On a Roll. Like you can find it in the achievement tab, and it tells you what your longest duration of of games in a row won is,
Yeah,
and
your
mine
win
is
streak.
currently sitting at mine's currently sitting at 44.
Wow.
Really good. Did you play Classic
I did
That's more
not.
than 2.
with any bots? Because mine is 57, but I only got that because I literally farmed 57 bots in a row. So
Golly
like
Bob Howdy.
the fact that you're that high without playing Classic, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
that's
mine's from Classic also.
Amazing.
That joke won't get old.
It's true.
It just won't get old. Won't happen.
Was Diablo 4 your first Blizzard game?
it was not. So when I lost my vision, I had a really good friend. We're actually still friends today. We've been friends now for 20. Hold on, how old am I? 30. So we've been friends for 26 years. And he was very determined that just because I went blind did not mean that I could not play games. We just have to figure out like how do we make this work. And so as like 7 and 8 year olds, we played World of Warcraft. That was back in the very first expansion. So not it was just before Burning Crusade. Back when World of Warcraft came on like 17 discs, and you had to like wait forever to install the expansions.
Back
Yeah.
in my day
Um,
as well.
I played Burning Crusade.
yeah, and then I also played a lot of Diablo 2.
Yes.
And so
I
like part
love
of
that
it
game.
was, me sitting there and him mostly playing and me telling him, okay, click on this, click on that, and then he would read, the all of the dialogues, and we would sort of, go through it that way. And so that's why it was so important for me when the Diablo 4 team was really looking at like how do we make this accessible, because like as a kid I always dreamed of having full autonomy within a game. being able to pick a game up and play it from end to end without any sighted assistance whatsoever. Um, and Diablo 4 for me was that first opportunity.
Nice. So back to Hearthstone, you enjoy Wild, yes?
I do, actually.
What
Sorry.
what would you say that you for what reason would do you prefer or that you like Wild, like over Standard? What draws you to Wild?
It's really interesting. My philosophy when it comes to Hearthstone is that the game in of itself is a compendium of experiences, right? When I get bored with one mode, I swap to another and do that instead. There's always something new to do. And so it was, gosh, can't remember exactly. I think it was in November of last year. I was feeling really burned out on standard, and then I started playing Battlegrounds. But once I got to 6K in Battlegrounds, I was like, okay, like I need something else. Um, and I got to thinking, like, hey, there's all these cards that I bought when I first started playing the game, and then they immediately became unavailable. Maybe there's something I can do there. And so I actually did a little bit of research, and I came across Schmoopy's videos on YouTube. And then I went to Schmoopy's stream and kind of lurked for a little
I'm
bit.
still sorry.
Um, and then I remember I asked Schmoopy, it was like, hey, should I play Wild? And he was like, maybe. um, and so I started kind of dipping my toes into it a little bit, but I wasn't really too sure, like, am I going to like this? And then I fell in love with it. I hit Legend that month. I think I ended up finishing around like 2000 or something. And a friend of mine from THL Impermanence had noticed that I hit Wild Legend, and he was like, "Hey, I noticed that you're playing Wild now. We're in desperate need of a fifth seed for our THL team. Like, would you be interested?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. Like, I'm not sure if I'm really gonna stick around in this mode, but we'll give it a try." And it really kind of hit home to me that like Wild is that mode where that joy that we were talking about before, that Brandon really embodied, sort of comes to life. You have all of the varying power levels, you can do all the wacky things. And I just like, I don't know. I'm a firm like I think Wild is way better than Standard personally.
Agreed.
I haven't touched Standard in like 2 months. But actually almost quit Wild after that first THL season because I don't think I won a single game.
Oh,
um it was so bad, and I was like, well, maybe I just don't understand how this works. And then I got to thinking about it, well, what would I do in any other situation? And so I sat down and I studied and I studied and I studied, and I mean, last season was a lot better. I finished with the best record in the Wild series, so something worked.
Did you get
I'll
MVP?
say.
Did
I
you?
did.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
comeback?
got comeback player of the year or
Oh
season
yeah.
MVP and the All-Star team or something.
Oh, heck yeah.
I was not expecting it either. I had just tuned in randomly to the award show because I'm a big firm believer in like supporting things that I think are good for the community. And so I was there and I was like cheering everybody on. I was like, yeah, this is so cool. Um and then they're like, yeah, and this next one goes to Tyler Knife. And I was like, excuse me? Like, what did you just say?
Mm-hmm.
And then I cried a lot. I do that a lot lately. But it was so cool.
Sheep, I think you added this question. Do you want to ask it?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, of course, you are the newest host of on Doctor 3, and they're great folks over there. Like, I've been a long time listener. No surprises there. And we love to witness you fitting in with them just so wonderfully. Of course, you're also super involved with Blizzlet and, of course, with us. And I personally just love that you've jumped into the podcasting medium for the game with both feet. So, like, what drew you to Hearthstone podcasts and, of course, like podcasting and participating in that thing as well?
That is a really interesting question. So funnily enough, for both podcasting and streaming, I am not a very extroverted person. I'm very introverted. I sometimes will jokingly tell people that like when I'm not streaming or like when I'm not on a podcast, I am almost nonverbal. I talk to my dog, but like other than that, I don't really talk all that much. Like it's to the point where like my dog will like if I'm talking too much, she'll come over and like get in my lap and like put her paws on my face and like try to close my mouth. Um,
Mom,
it's really
shut
cute.
up. Mom.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
that's adorable.
But it's sort of like twofold. One, as I mentioned, I very much am a student at heart, a longtime learner, and I find that
Mhm.
in order to get better at something, I need to surround myself with it. And so one of the first things I did when I got into playing Hearthstone was I went to my podcast app where I listened to a lot of true crime podcasts and immediately started looking for all of the Hearthstone content I could find. And then I subscribed to all of them. Um, and I still listen to all of them. It takes a lot of time, but there's just so much to learn and so much, different perspectives that help me be a better player. There for a while, like my dream, right, was, oh, I want to be an 11x player. Well, now I want to be a double digit player because I've already done the 11x thing a couple of times now. Um,
Mhm.
and so, like, that really drove me to listening to podcasts. The other piece to it is really education. As a blind as a blind trans woman, one of the things that like I encounter a lot is misconceptions, right? Um, Sometimes people just suck. They're transphobic or they're ableist, but really 9 times out of
Mhm.
10, I find that people don't know what they don't know.
So true.
And so what I really sought to do when I started streaming and when I started accepting invitations to participate in podcasts, the first one was Bread and Butter. The second one was Blizzlet. They invited me as a guest for their Kick-Ass Women of Hearthstone series shortly after I came out as trans, and I really wanted to highlight like what can blind people do because like when I was going through school, like I legitimately had a guidance counselor when I was in the ninth grade tell me like, hey, blind people don't go to college. They don't, live independently. So like what do you want to do with
What?
life? Um
Guidance counselor
Try to
sucked.
trying to keep you
Yeah,
down.
that.
What the heck?
yeah, and unfortunately like the reality is like most people don't know blind people and so like they have this thought that like blind people sit at home and they get taken care of and they only receive government assistance, which is fine. Like if blind people want to get support, like I'm all for it. um but I also wanted to showcase that like blind people can be doctors. Legitimately there's a deaf blind surgeon. um I personally find that interesting. But Blind people can be physicists, they can be lawyers, they can be software engineers. Um, they can be terrible at video games. And so like part of what I wanted to do was like really put the spotlight out there on like, hey, as a blind person, I too am enjoying all of the things that you are, in doing it at a competitive level or doing it at the same level that you are, just in a different way. And really like that's what drove me to be so competitive in Diablo 4. Um, killing Uber Lilith or running all this high end content was because like people were even Elon Musk was like, blind people can't do that. Well, sure enough, I did it. So I mean,
Did you ever kill Elon Musk in game? That would be so funny.
no, unfortunately. But I did get a hardcore PvP kill on a barbarian once. It's actually really funny. Because in hardcore, if you die forever. And so they
Yes.
jumped me in the Fields of Hatred, which is like the PvP area. And so I killed them and took their ear.
Nice.
But um,
Like a boss.
Oh yeah, you have to collect your ears. I loved in Diablo 2 having my stash just as full as many ears as possible. And that's only if someone attacked me. I was never a PKer. I don't understand why people like get off on like killing hardcore people that have spent forever leveling up to like level 90 and then they just come kill you.
but yeah,
For
back
those of
to-
you enjoying with your ears, Schmoopy and I are both looking like what, but his is incredulous and mine is like just cracking up.
One time when I was like 14 years old, so a million years ago, playing Diablo 2, I was up at like 2 in the morning and I was I was at level 91, I believe, and in hardcore playing a necromancer. And necromancers are super weak because they can't wear the good armor, right? Because you just rely on all your summons. And a paladin just came in and PK'd me instantly. And this is like 2 in the morning as 14-year-old me. I was so naive. This guy's like, hey, send me a town, or I can't remember how it worked. Oh, he went back to town. He's like, I gotta go get some potions or something. And he goes back to town. And then if you recall in Diablo 2, you hear this sound. It goes like vroom. And that's when they go hostile on you. And then he popped back through the portal and just like one hit kill OTK'd me. And my life was over.
Bagged you. He straight up
Forever.
scumbagged you. Unlucky. Skill issue. If I'm on a skill issue.
I was so sad.
True. But also
Yeah.
rude, dude.
So
Yeah.
when Smarms and Dragon Rider, who are both members of Amber Flight Gaming, reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, we're looking for a fourth host, and we think you'd be really great on Doctor 3." I had to accept it because like I just love them dearly and I look up to them so much. But it's also an opportunity for me to continue to find new ways to reach out to people and to really help them understand that like just because you're blind doesn't mean like it's the end of the world. Like as a result of doing these sorts of things, I actually had a blind person reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know like I lost my vision 9 months ago and I thought it was the end of the world. Like I thought that like I had to drop out of college and that like there was no future for me. But by watching your content, like I'm back at school and I'm thriving and I'm able to play video games, which was like a big passion of mine before I lost my vision. And I just wanted to say thank you." And like that right there is why I do what I do.
Hell yeah.
That's amazing. But I will also be remiss if I don't bring attention to the fact that you said watching your content and you are notorious for making blind jokes about, oh, I didn't see that. Can you do it again on stream? And like you take it in stride like it's not a disability for you. It's just a reality of what it is, which means it's content for comedy. It's content for reality. And so like I have been absolutely wrecked by May being like, well, I didn't see it. You got to do it again. Like just offhand content, and it just flabbergasts you out of nowhere. So I'd be remiss if I did not bring it up in that moment, as heartfelt as that was. For you also to find the hilarity in the fact that like this is just you doing you, and it's amazing.
Absolutely. It's probably
Hmm.
kind of shocking for anybody who, like, from the Hearthstone community who's like interacted with me on like Twitch or in the various Discords. But I'm really actually a very serious, like, analytical person. Um, but I find that, like, particularly around blindness, but like other things as well, people are very uncomfortable. And so if you can get them to laugh, like, they begin to realize, oh, actually, it's just normal. Like, it's just another
Hmm.
characteristic or a fact of life. And so, like, I mean, it's low hanging fruit for me. Like, I've heard it all since I was, 6, going through the public K through 12 system in a lower socioeconomic neighborhood. Um, I got to hear all sorts of things. I remember one time in high school, I was walking through the halls and somebody was like, "Hey, I'm gonna trip the blind kid," and their friend was like, "I'm gonna laugh when the blind kid whoops your butt," except they didn't use butt. But it's getting people to realize that, like, blindness is just another characteristic,
And you
like
don't have to
height
tiptoe
or
around it.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Plus, it's really funny to, like, watch, streamers in particular kinda stumble because they're like, "I'm not sure if I'm allowed to laugh at that," like,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
no, there's definitely an awkwardness. Well, wait, am I supposed to?
It's-
Am I supposed to laugh? Oh God.
By telling the joke, you are giving that permission. Like
yeah. Yeah.
just
And you're
breaks down that barrier. It's
and
great.
you're around wild degenerates now, so
Mhm.
that's like all right, it's cool, guy, it's cool. Listen, everybody, it's okay, it's okay. I have my arms spread out. I'm telling everybody that it's okay now. Um,
Yeah.
I get the way to make those
describing
jokes.
describing body language and images to May is another one of my favorite pastimes.
Truly.
Because it's I almost sent true story. I almost sent her a PDF of like a picture of all the questions that we were going to ask tonight, and I'm like, that's 51 minutes for whoever is doing this, okay? And so I was just like, copy paste. Here, May. Here, just look over the questions because, like, we're interviewing. We're not trying to ambush anybody. We want to make sure. Well, I have one question at the end that's an ambush, but I don't want to ambush anybody or make anyone uncomfortable. I want to make sure that she's all set for the show. But like, it does become like an afterthought, right? Like you just forget, like, oh no, this person, can't see in this image, and so I have to describe to her things like, emotes and like and things like that. And it is actually, there's some fun with it. I do have to ask you, mate, because it's going to blow some people's mind. What does your gaming setup look like?
Yeah, for sure. So, I have a laptop that's sitting, all the way probably, like, 4 feet at the very back end of my desk, behind, a bunch of different consoles, because when I started to stream, I thought I was gonna play all sorts of games. So I've got, like, a PS5 and a Switch and, an Xbox and a GameCube, and, um, all of those, sort of wire out to, a soundboard, or a Go XLR, and then my microphone, which is sort
Nice.
of dangling over the top of my desk, and, um, I don't actually use, the monitor at all because, like, why would I? I can't see it,
Oh.
so,
Makes sense.
I'm
Which
oftentimes
blew my
sitting.
mind, by the way. It just blew my mind the first time. It's like, duh, of course she wouldn't use a monitor. But at the same time, I'm like, why can't you use a monitor? You need the information from the monitor. But no, you don't need the monitor. Of course not.
Yeah, and
It's like a
that's part of
text
the
game at this point.
reason. Yeah, exactly, and that's part of the reason that I am camera off. There's other reasons as well, revolving around dysphoria and stuff, but, um, my laptop is so far back that, like, it's not realistic for me to have the camera on. I think, like, probably the more interest oh, the other thing I was gonna say is that, like, I also, like, while I'm streaming, I'm basically, like, sitting in a dark room by myself. Like, if anybody was to, like, come and, like, deliver something, they'd probably think I'm creepy.
Just the lights are off, just sitting there in the
Don't need
dark.
lights. I mean,
Yeah,
Why would
I
you?
make the joke all the time to my ex-wife, and, like, I tell her, like, "Oh, hold on, I need to go turn on a light." She's blind too, and so I'll tell her, like, "I need to go turn on a light because, we don't have a blind dog." Or at least not yet anyway. The dog needs light. Um, but, the other thing that I do, so I mentioned that I have a Go XLR. Um, obviously, all of my interaction is done through audio means. So I have, my general text to speech for the computer, like interacting with all of the menus and the applications like OBS, or the Hearthstone client or whatever. And then I have another application called Firebot, which basically acts as a secondary TTS for chat. So like that reads aloud. Anytime anybody puts anything into chat, then it will read that aloud. And
sorry,
then
you have to read what I type. By the way, I'm frequently that not like nothing I type is important, and often it's regurgitated from some garbage I find someplace. So that's immediately my apologies.
Yeah, but it's usually entertaining. So like,
I suppose, but like May's trying to take an APM turn because of the type of deck she's playing. So she's trying to take an APM turn, and she's just like, spam this duck to see more ducks like
actually,
times in a row, and like it's like spam picture of a duck, this picture of a duck picture of a duck, two picture. I'm sure it's like it's just got to be obnoxious.
see, the ones that crack me up the most are ones that will have like a bazillion underlines. So for example, Zach,
yeah,
Like KBLK.
whenever Zach chats, it'll say Zach underscore 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 14 times, and then finally get to the message.
See,
Meanwhile,
oh my gosh.
I'm trying to play like these APM turns, and I'm trying to listen to like what's going on in the game. I'm like, oh my god. Um, and then on top of that, I also run music because I've gotten feedback from people that like, hey, it's a little boring in here if all we're hearing is the game. So like, can we have like something else to do? And that's fine. And then I have a tertiary text to speech coming from Discord. So like if somebody types something in a channel that I have focus in, then it'll read that aloud as well. Um what's nice about the Go XLR is I can actually split all of the different audio lines and then control the volume of them independently.
Oh,
Um
cool.
so like my music, I almost always have it off in my headset. So like chat is listening to music, but I am not. Um Unless I'm
Oh,
like, I
cool.
wonder what they're listening to. I can turn it up real quick and then like turn it back down if I don't like the song.
It'd be a lot to take in all at the same time, I guess, with all of
Yeah.
the
Keep it all
text.
straight. She's playing complicated decks while I'm sorry, you're gonna have to murmur in her chat with like, spam this duck to see more ducks.
see, I
And
call it sheep posting because
all right,
I'm
good
I'm
point.
the sheep, but you could just call it schmoopy posting.
Um,
Yeah, I sent the show notes to you, May, and then after I sent the show notes, I remembered that all of our like subheadings for each segment we've included. So it says like guest interview, but surrounding it is like 200 dashes on each side of it.
oh
It's
yeah.
like, and I thought about that as soon as I
Script
sent it. I'm
every
like,
single
that's.
one.
I was like, that's gonna sound awful. It's probably going dash 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 dash.
See, one
Like,
of the things that like my chat really likes to do sometimes is like they'll spam just random characters like all in one big like gobbledygook, and so it's like what?
So if
And I think it's hilarious, but like it's also super distracting. So what I do actually, because my text to speech for chat and my screen reader unfortunately have to be on the same audio stream. Um, I can actually make my screen reader for the game duck the other audio, so the other audio falls into like the background, and I'm listening primarily to my screen reader. And so when like I've got like 14 underlines on somebody's name, or if chat is being annoying, I'll just duck it and then like not pay any attention to what's going on in the background. And I've kind of like picked up on some of it. So like for example, I had no idea what like the peepo emoji was. I saw it
oh
like all over
yeah,
Twitch,
I
but I was
still
like, I
don't
don't
get
know
it
what that
either.
is. Yeah. And then Schmoopy actually explained it to me one night. And so now I love to just like I don't know how to make the emote, but like I just type in like peepo read or peepo blush, and it makes me so happy.
It actually matters which letters are like capitalized or not. So like when you're a boomer and it's COVID and like you're trying to do what you're doing and it's just like, oh, I just want to type out the emote. It's like you type it out, but like, you know, you type it out but not capitalized, and people are like, wow, look at this idiot. Nice job, Unk. Right? Like so like, you know, but like I'm
Pro strat, type it, hit tab, and then it'll like fill it in like
okay, sheep. Listen,
appropriately.
I'm on mobile. All of the emotes, T7,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. No,
TV7
yeah,
and all
yeah,
that,
yeah. On mobile,
it's
all
all
bets are
written out
off.
for me.
Yeah.
I have learned Twitch lingo by looking at the actual word, which is probably the worst possible way to learn it, because it's instead of making it a pictograph, it just looks like you're displaying illness, like visually, just on screen on screen.
Look at this pictograph.
Oh my
See, and
gosh.
it's even worse because like I was not a braille reader growing up. I learned braille when I was 21, and so like I don't know how
Right.
things were supposed to be spelled. I spell very phonetically.
Ah.
In fact, a lot of people don't think that I'm from the United States because my spelling is so bad. Um, uh,
You stop
and so
spelling
like
at 6, basically, right? Like when people are learning how to spell.
yeah, exactly. Like they would
Mm-hmm.
take me out of the like literacy courses to do like daily living type stuff, like, you know, this is how you pour a glass of water for like 7 years. Expectations were very low. Because remember, blind people don't go to college, they don't live independently, so like you don't need to read, it's fine.
I bet you aced those classes though. Like, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, but
I mean,
You're a go-getter. Like,
knowing
you've told me, listen, you're the only one to kill. You're the only non-sighted person to kill Uber Lilith. You probably are pretty coordinated when you're pouring glasses at this point.
I'm
oh yeah.
just taking a leap of faith there. Pretty sure you nailed it.
I mean, I could probably like pour an adult beverage from like across the kitchen at this point.
Right?
Just kidding.
My family and I were playing all these minute to win it games, and there was one where it was pour a glass of water blindfolded, and you have to get it closest to the top. And my wife went first, and she only poured about like half a glass. And then my son went next, and he got like a little more than that. And then I thought I was a genius because like I would pour, and then I just sort of like stick my finger in the glass to see if I could touch the water. And if I couldn't, I'd pour more. They were so mad. They were like, "What? That's cheating." I'm like, "No, I used my head."
It wasn't a rule. You didn't
Yeah,
say it wasn't a rule.
you used alternative techniques. You did it correctly.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can also
wrecked.
listen. Yeah,
Hydra
you can also
family.
listen to the echoes off of the liquid in the cup, and you can actually hear like based on the echo where
Yeah. Oh,
the rim of the
wow.
cup is versus the liquid.
I did not get that deep. There's no, but that's, I guess like after a while you would probably notice like the sound getting different as you're getting closer to the top, and you know when you're closer.
I mean, think about it, right? You make a pot of
Yeah.
coffee. Do you really want to stick your finger in there?
No. No.
Good point.
Not.
I mean, kind of.
You could put a ping pong ball in it, and then when it floats to the top and you feel the ping pong ball, you could take it out.
Now that is a trick I have not tried. And it's
Dang,
Something
ping
I
pong
wanted
balls
to-
get hot.
Something I want to ask you, because this was something that was a big deal for Super Blind Man when I interacted with him, was how are hero portraits important to the blind community?
Oh my gosh. So I'm notorious because I am a huge critic when it comes to hero portraits. I'll often say, like, Warrior, for example, all of them are terrible. And that's being maybe a little bit too critical. But like the thing you have to remember, right, is that for blind people, the entire experience of the game is built around the audio engagement, right?
Mhm.
Like obviously we are playing the cards in looking for strategy and figuring out like how do these interact with one another and looking for the lines um and trying to figure out like how do I win, what is my resource engine, am I the beatdown, yada yada yada. um
Right.
but all of that is delivered through the audio experience. So, when cards are played, oh, hey, that's a really great voice line. Some people have gotten to the point where like they can identify, like, oh, hey, that character right there is the voice actor is also identical to this one over here. Um, I'm not that nerdy, but
Mhm.
I do have really good friends who are that nerdy, and I love them. Um, but when it comes to portraits, right? So like I don't care how they look. Um, it's like signature cards or gold to me, they're meaningless. Um, I dust all my premium cards because they don't do anything for me. Um, for portraits, I'm really looking at a couple of different factors. One, I'm looking at when the hero is engaged, does it do anything? So recently we've gotten quite a few hero portraits. Thinking of Ursoc, Tyrion, uh, there's a couple more. When they get hit, Malagos is another. When they get hit, they shift around. You can hear the movement. And like there's three-dimensional audio placement even in Hearthstone where like you can
Mhm.
like really track like what is happening visually. That is beautiful. And then the
Yeah.
quality of the voice lines. I absolutely and I did buy it. Um, but I absolutely hate the voice lines for Rag. I think they're awful. Um,
Mhm.
I think that particularly for the pricing, the creativity was just stunted. It was lazy. I could have done so much better with it. And then on top of it, like the audio quality is just not great. Um, and that's true of like a handful of skins. So um, really, what you'll find mostly on my streams is like I have probably like 7, 8, 9 different skins that I have favorited that I rotate through because they're the ones that I have identified as good quality. I either relate to the hero portrait in some way. So for example, um the woodland Valera, she is so
Mhm.
adorable. Like in my day-to-day, I use the phrase fantastical all the time. And so like when you use the wow emote and she's like, that's fantastical. I'm like, oh my God, like that's perfect.
Is Dame Hazelbark in your rotation?
I don't have her.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I also am very disappointed, and I know Schmoopy, like you've explained it to me 100 times by now, but I'm so, so sad that in the year that I have been playing, I have not been able to get a Nimsy skin. Um,
Not a
Oh,
all of
single
yeah.
Nemsy skin?
not a single one has been in the shop since
Is it?
I've been playing,
Oh
and
man,
I'm
there's like
Wow.
frustrated.
there's like a dozen of them, I swear.
Yeah,
It used to
It's
be
actively a meme.
the meme,
Trying to
yeah.
explain to me that like for a while, like there were no Warlock skins. There were just Mimsy skins. Like that was it. That was all they were sending out.
Every time they
Like
So
did
any
it, oh,
Warlock
another
skin is like, oh,
Nemsy.
It's like, oh, like the Druid came out with Cthulhu, and they're like, oh, look, new Warlock skin dropped, and it was like Nimsy with like a Cthulhu hat. Like it was just
It's just so frustrating because like for the warlocks, the only thing I can relate to is how dramatic they are because I'm also very dramatic, but like the skins are just so bad, so it makes me not want to play warlock ever. And then of course we're in like a meta right now where warlock is actually kind of good and you should probably be playing it at some degree at some point depending on like where you're sitting if you're, playing competitively. And I don't want to. Like it makes me so frustrated because I'm like all these heroes suck. Um
What did they do to? Because you used to be able to get Nemsy originally. You had to do a fireside to get it, like the original Nemsy. What did they change? How can you get it now? I'd have to look that up because that was the rule on Nemsy number
great
one.
thing. You don't.
It still says
God.
fireside.
Does
Yeah,
it say
it's
it on it still?
yeah, so, like, if you go to it in your collection, it says fireside still, and all of the rest of them say, "It'll be available in the shop." Well, guess what? It's been a year, um,
That's one thing I
and they've
don't
not
like
been.
about the Hearthstone shop is that you can't just go in and grab something that was previously in the shop.
It's
They're just not.
infuriating.
It's
It's
the
stupid.
other games don't do this. Like you
It's
can go in
leaving
and you
money
can
on
just,
the table. It's
It is.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I would buy so many of them, honestly, but, I mean, it's part of the reason that, like, even though I can afford it as a software engineer, I will never buy a pet, ever, because what they've done is they've overlapped the audio of the pet over the top of the hero. And so when you
Yeah.
emote, which I do a lot, I hope everybody is squelching me because like I'm very emotive. Because that's how
I
I
do.
play the game. Um,
Uh-huh.
but when you emote, of course King Crush is being all cute and also emoting, but like you're distorting my audio. Go away. Like I want you to be quiet because I need to be able to hear the audio. I hate it so much. Um, I don't know, it's kind of funny because like the other day I was streaming and uh, a paladin cast Oh My Yogg, and then when I played my spell, it cast a spell that like when the paladin played, it was a Libram paladin, and when they played uh, their next spell, it would summon a 1/3, and then the spell would target it. And so they
Mm.
buffed my 1/3 with the +3/+3 Libram. And so I emoted, and chat was like, "That's rude, don't be toxic." And I was like, "Listen, chat, you don't like it? Leave." Because like, the reality is, this is how I play the game.
Yeah,
Like,
it's different.
for me, it's a part of my experience, and I'm not going to not emote. Like, they messed up. I can WoW emote them. It's
Oh
fine.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
full send. Get wrecked, noob. I'm
Yeah.
down
Sorry,
for it. I'm
Uriel.
down for it. If they don't want to hear it, they honestly, if your opponent doesn't want to hear it, they can squelch you, which I do with reckless abandon. I hope it doesn't disturb you that I squelch as often as I do, and thus robs you of the audio soundscape that is my games with whatever random nerd I queue into on ladder. But I know I play worse with emotes.
No, for sure.
Because I can't physically hit the person that I'm playing against because
Well,
that's against
and
international
that's
law and also
exactly
not
what
physically possible.
that's exactly what she said. Like if they don't like it, they can squelch me. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
fun fact, actually, when you're spectating, so when I run into friends on the ladder or there's some streamers that I've approached individually and they've been very kind. They will let me add them so I can spectate, so that way I can actually learn from them. Um,
Mm.
and so I learned actually from Schmoopy that when you, the player, squelch somebody, that does not squelch them for whoever is
Mm-hmm.
spectating. I can't squelch people when I'm spectating.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
I
can
never
you
thought of
not?
that.
And so
No.
there's actually one game where your opponent was being incredibly toxic, um, both in YouTube chat and also in game, and they kept emoting after every single turn, just like super obnoxiously, like over and over and over. And I was like, man, this is like I had to actually stop spectating because I was like, this is giving me a headache.
So they were sniping and being toxic at the same time.
And so they
No,
knew that you weren't
Who
I think
sniped
they
me?
were I think they were being toxic before and after, but I can't remember.
Oh,
All I remember is you were taxed.
Wow.
um,
Unlucky.
but I actually left
Oh,
because
that
I was
guy.
like, I
Got it.
can't handle all of this obnoxiousness. And so I left. Yeah.
Were they doing this?
Wow. Wow.
No, they were a
Wow.
paladin. They got me with Tax Paladin. I was playing
Oh.
unplayable DK number 47 or something like that. And they had like a web lord out and all my deck had like battle cries. And then they're pinging me in like booger card and then they want to be my friend in chat. And I'm like, dude, you just queued into basically like a free win. And now you're on like this red carpet being like, oh yeah, look at this playing any of his cards. What an idiot. And then you're pinging me while I'm streaming. Like this is peak obnoxiousness. You should be ashamed ashamed of yourself. Because not enough people tell these people have not been bullied enough online, clearly. Like this is tongue in cheek that I'm saying this. Like these people don't like just think this behavior is acceptable and that like this is like just like perfectly normal and that like oh you can behave like a jerk. I'm going to censor myself because Hydra's going to have to edit out enough of my garbage this individual episode. I wrote down the numbers, okay? I have the
Yeah, I
minutes.
got it. Thank you.
He's
I
trying.
appreciate it.
I tried. Sorry. But like, it's like, dude, you can't behave this way. This is like this is not acceptable human to human. If you actually care about spending time in my stream, like cut it out. I know exactly who you're talking about. So like, yeah, anytime I queue into Randy Marsh, I mute him, but whoever's spectating me cannot mute him. Unlucky.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, frick you, Randy.
Yeah, we talked about Randy recently because I was like, why does Randy just emote all the time? Be like, oh my gosh, don't get me started.
Yeah, there are very few people who I squelch, and whenever I run across Randy, I typically find out because I'm like, oh, why is this person emoting so much? Squelch him.
Person's
Oh, it's
so
Randy.
loud. All right, it's Randy.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, hey,
My
Randy.
philosophy is like if you emote me 3 times in a row without good cause, I'm probably squelching you.
Right, exactly.
Like sure, like if you do something like really cool, emote me, or if I like obviously misplay, which I do, emote and like we'll laugh together. I mean, I do it. Like
Mhm.
I'll misplay and then I'll sit there for a minute. I'm like, I hate myself, and then I'll emote. Oops. Um,
Same, all the time.
yeah, but like just don't spam. Like the one that really, really gets to me
Yeah.
is like the Absolution Anduin, the wow really. Just
Wow.
drives me
Really?
Really?
bonkers.
Wow.
It's so
Yes,
long.
Do you think
exactly.
Is that stab
you
you
think the
in?
voice actor realized what they were doing when they unleashed that on the world? Like, do you think they were just
Absolutely.
like,
Of course, yeah. It was actively supposed to be toxic, right? Like that was the point.
really? Wow. And then they were like gold and they printed it. And then like they had like, they didn't the infinite psychological torture they then placed on other people from their decision, that snap decision from there on after is just like catastrophic.
You know what
I'm
would be
not gonna
funny
lie.
is if Randy just had like a macro that he just has running the whole time and he's not actually sitting there hitting the hitting the emotes. That would be hilarious. That'd be next level.
I'm not gonna lie. I hate the Anduin portrait, but as soon as I hit the 500 wins, or was it 500? No, it was from the Tavern Pass. And got the
Mm.
Absolution. I did favorite it because, as obnoxious as I find it, it is fun to be obnoxious.
Uh-huh. Isn't it though?
Okay, so my secret question on here was how much do you love Nazmani Priest before we ask you how you got your username? So how much do you love Nazmani Priest, or as you have nicknamed it, Ableist Priest?
Yeah. If there was like one person that I could hypothetically strangle, it would be whoever decided to put all those cards together. Or who I run into
It's
sometimes
Dreadshot?
on ladder.
Can we just as a straw man just put up Dreadshot just as like a mascot, an idol to be sacrificed? Just like take your pick.
I think that
Absolutely.
Dreadshot would be actively like
They'd be about it. They'd be
embrace
like, yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
me. Do it.
Not
It actually
you
makes
say
me
Nazmani
giggle.
Priest and you think Dreadshot? Hey.
Yeah,
So,
it
so why
actually
do you
makes.
love it so much?
Okay, so and Dreadshot knows this, which is why I find it hilarious. Like whenever I run into them on ladder, and when you play 3 or more of the Nazmani Priests and you're casting spells, I get first the name of the card that's played, and then an audio effect from the trigger from the Nazmani, and then the next audio effect from the second one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one, and then the fifth one, and then you play another card and it cycles all over again. And
Another
each
one.
time it's whooshing. So like the audio effect comes from both the card on board, but also when it targets the card in hand that it's discounting. So it's like a double audio. And so what ends up happening is during that turn, I cannot hear anything. All I hear is like this like nonstop like and so like it just gives me a massive headache. And so I have started to call it ableist priest because I'm not convinced like a blind person trying to play against that deck can really do so at a high level because like there's so much sensory input occurring that you just like it's literally impossible to focus. Um I usually beat it though. I did not beat Dreadshot the one time that we played, but
It's bad.
um
Okay.
most of the time I do beat it. I just turn the game audio down until their turn is over, and then turn the audio back up and then, like, inspect the board to figure out, okay, like, what did they actually do?
It's like it's like the natural disaster has happened. You're just looking at the board. And it's like, all right, what's left of my house?
Yes.
I evacuated. I listened to the procedures. I went someplace safe. I'm back now. What is still intact? And like you're just sort of surveilling the landscape.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
in Community when Troy gets back with the pizza and everything's in chaos and he's like, oh my gosh, I came here with this pizza and there's like fire in the kitchen and I don't know what's going on. That
was a
looks
good
on
one.
his face. Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, hey, look, I still have Malagos. Okay, I win. It's fine."
Hooray.
So your fire is much smaller than Troy's. It's all right. It's fine.
All right. Well, for the final question, which we ask everybody, is how did you get your username?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of, a little awkward. So I am really big into D&D, and like a lot of trans women, before I came out, I would pretty much exclusively play female characters. Um, and so in probably my favorite campaign that I had run, I was playing a an elf named Knife, which I had randomly generated from D&D Beyond, her name. And, you know, when I conceptualized at the time who I wanted to be from like an identity perspective, you know, light and bubbly and sparkly and um, serious and inquisitive and um, a teacher and a learner. I couldn't think of any other name that really fit, and so I took it, ran with it, and have gotten a lot of laughs because nobody really knows how to pronounce it. I
I
think like
actively avoid trying to pronounce it.
I have never attempted it because I'm a teacher of when did I start teaching? 2014, 11 years. And if it's one thing you learn if you've been teaching for 11 years, it's if you don't know how to pronounce a name, completely avoid it. It's just there's like I've taught in Your Majesty. I know how to pronounce Your Majesty. There's other names. It's like, oh, nah, mate. You just not for you. Not for you. Go next.
Meanwhile, I believe that I heard you on Bread and Butter like super early on because I, like you, subscribe to all the podcasts and listen to them all. So like, I've just known how to pronounce your name the whole time and haven't haven't thought about it.
Yeah, it was actually really funny because like shortly after I started streaming at BlizzCon in 2023 during the opening ceremonies when they're like, going through and they're talking about like all the games and stuff. And they're like, this is what the week is going to entail. It's going to be so much fun, blah 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 blah. In the Diablo 4 segment, Rod Ferguson was talking about like all the cool things they'd done. And one of the things that they wanted to showcase was like how welcomes all to slay demons. And they're like, yeah, we even have this totally blind uh gamer who killed Uber Lilith and maxed out their character in hardcore. And like we just want to shout out Telephony. I was like, excuse me? What did you just say?
Oh no.
um but it was funny because I didn't know that they were going to recognize me at all. But then, like, I just got a really like big giggle out of telephony, because like in my head, like I've always heard it, Thai Lin knife, and I was like, telephony actually probably would have been better, but I wasn't clever enough to think of it that way.
For the
That'd be
record, for
hilarious.
graduations, when there's a discrepancy, there is an effort made by the administrator who is going to read the name to double check and make sure they know exactly how that name is pronounced. At
Yep.
least at good schools. I don't know about your school because like your guidance counselor is just like, I don't know, blind people can barely pour water. Let's go put them in a class for that. But for like normal, like I don't know, for supportive schools, that's like, that's like standard practice. Just like, okay, let's make sure we don't mess this up. This is a huge moment. So that's a little funny that they didn't at least lean like at least reach out being like, how do we pronounce this phonetically? Just like
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was actually really funny because like at the time I had been interacting in there's a small circle of us where Mike Ibarra or Ibarra, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, Quick, used to pop into the stream and like hang out and play Diablo 4 with us. And um, like all the times that I interacted with Quick, he never once asked, how do I or like how is that pronounced? Um, and so then like when I was, I was co-streaming BlizzCon and just kind of like, this is so cool, like just hanging out, like this is great. And then they like announced that and like I instantly just like burst into tears and was like, what the heck? Like, why are they even showcasing me? Like this is weird. But also really cool. But also
it
the
is really
name, you
cool.
butchered it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic interview, by the way. I like,
It
Yes.
truly was.
that's a really good interview. But yeah, how was your week, Hydra? Yes.
Yeah, well, May is not gone. May is going to be here for the whole show. We'll get all of your opinions on all the stuff upcoming in the news and hear about your week and everything like that as well. My week? So I forgot there was one book that I was reading. The Girl Who Loves Tom Gordon by Stephen King. I mentioned this like months ago. It's about this like 9-year-old girl that gets lost in the woods and all she has is her Walkman and she can listen to baseball games. And Tom Gordon's a baseball player. And so she basically like imagines that he's with her and try to help her get out of the woods kind of thing. I forgot I was reading this book. I found it in my like nightside table and realized I needed to continue doing that. So I steamrolled through it in the last couple days and finished it. And it is awesome. Like I really, really enjoyed it. It's one character in a book basically the entire time. And it's just this girl struggling to survive and make it out of the woods. So if you like that whole, and it's very psychological too, because she's not eating well, right? She's scared, and talking to her quote unquote imaginary friend the whole time. It's a really good one. So I was stoked to get through that. And then I had mentioned that last week that I'd started Snow Crash, and Sheep is super excited about that.
Yes.
I'm more than halfway through Snow Crash right now. This one I'm listening to the audiobook of. And I think they recorded it like back when it was like books on tape or something when it first came out, because the audio quality is just atrocious. But,
oh no.
Yeah, but it's really, really good. And it's really, really getting into trying to compare like what's happening now to like this old like biblical stuff. And it's like I have to like rewind sometimes to like try to make sure that I'm like aligning things correctly and like getting it all straight, because it's like a lot to take in. But it's awesome. Very much enjoying that. And then I moved on to physically. I'm reading Blaze, quote unquote, written by Richard Bachman. That was his, like pen name. The reason he published this one in 2007. Stephen King, yeah. But it was originally written back in like the late 60s, early 70s, and he threw it in a trunk and didn't take it out till 2007. So this is done like before his first, but like before Carrie. It's super old. And basically the premise of it is there's these two bad guys, where one's kind of a bit of a dummy and then one's the brains of the operation. I kind of think of it as like, if you ever watch My Name is Earl, it's like Earl and Randy. So like Earl's supposed to be the smart one and Randy's kind of the dumb one. The problem is the smart one in the operation, when they go do cons or robbing people, he died. And this isn't a spoiler. He's just, you find out right at the beginning of the book that he's dead. And the dumb one, his name is Blaze. He pretends he's still alive because he needs his help. So he has him as an imaginary friend when he's doing his cons and stuff. And it's really, really cool. The idea in the book is that he's going to kidnap a baby and then hold it for ransom. And he's trying to get pointers from his dead friend, his imaginary dead friend. So he tries to imagine what his friend would say and give him all these pointers. So he's going to go like kidnap this baby, but then his friend's like, do you have diapers? Like, do you have a baby bottle? Do you have a crib? Like all this stuff. And he's like, oh man, I didn't think of that. So he's got to go steal all that stuff. Right. It's just
Friends like personifying the part of his personality that's supposed to be like his conscience.
I guess so.
It sounds like it.
It's pretty cool. I'm very much enjoying it so far. I'm only about a quarter of the way through, but that's the premise of the book. I won't say more because I don't know more, and I wouldn't anyways because I don't like spoilers. But yeah, so I listen and read like a lot of books. I'm playing catch up because earlier on in the year I didn't do as many as I normally would, so catching up on that. I stumbled across 55. Yeah, 55. Yeah, the meme was I was supposed to read 44 books last year. That did not happen. I got close, I think.
You did. Way closer than I anticipated. Like that was not a legit thing. But then when you got so close, it was like, dude, maybe though.
Yeah. So last weekend, I know, May, you said you didn't like the pets, but I was playing with my pet. A lot of people don't. I'm first going to say I do not agree with how expensive the pets are as well. It is way too high. But I have one because thank you, Blizzard Entertainment, for, doing that thing. Anyways, I was chatting. I think it was on Saturday. I was up late playing Hearthstone and chatting with Sheep, and I was actually like typing with one hand to Sheep, and then I was playing with the pet with like my mouse, and Hydra can't do two things at once, so I had stopped moving the mouse, I guess. I didn't know how I did it, but I somehow picked up the pet and looked back at the screen, and he was like hovering, and I was like moving him all around the screen. And I'm like, I have to screenshot this, and I sent it to Sheep, and he's like, what? How did you do that?
Yeah, this
And
is like
I'm
over the weekend.
Yeah, last weekend. I'm like, I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
So I started playing with it and fooling around, and like finally figured it out. It was basically you have to take the toy, put it over the pet's mouth, and to just like click once and don't move. Like you don't move your mouse, you don't move anything, and you have to hold it for like 5-ish seconds, but you can't move at all. And then he latches on, and then you can lift him up. I've tried to see if there's any interaction past that. Like, can you put him somewhere, like the other side of the board? I tried seeing, like, if I versed somebody else that had a pet, seeing if I could like put it on their side. That doesn't work.
That would have been fun.
I don't think that there's anything beyond that, or it'd be cool if you could like swap them, or like I don't know. I thought there might be something else you could do past that point. But I just thought that was kind of a cool interaction they didn't really tell you about. And I didn't see anybody else post about this at the time. I've never seen anyone else do it.
Not until Monday. So Monday morning, I informed the folks in the creator Discord, and a few folks, even reading the words that I put in on their stream, spotlighted it. I'm glad that they spotlighted it, though I gave credit to Hydra in there, so it would have been nice, So just saying.
Standard streamer Linny, who I know May frequents as well, because
big fan.
Linny's adorable. Loves Crush, and Linny got Crush from Blizzard. And so we're like, yo, Linny, you can pick up Crush, right? Linny's like, no, you can't. Right? No, you totally can't. We're trying to describe to her the method for how you pick up Crush, and I couldn't do it because Hydra didn't leave explicit instructions. He left an image, but not like how to.
Sorry. That was in DMs.
And then I learned that Zeddy had done it and like had it clipped. So I went through the Zeddy clips. Do you know how many clips Zeddy gets? I found Zeddy nipples before I found Zeddy like picked up the pet, which was which was traumatizing.
I feel so sorry for you.
But we did eventually, and I did eventually end up putting it on stream and showed Linny the clip, and somebody showed Linny the clip after I was just like skill issue nerd and like posted the screenshot. So like, yes, it is possible, and it was very cool that you were the first, if not one of the first, but I'm pretty sure the first person to figure it out. That you could pick up King Crush, and every time I pick up King Crush afterwards, Hydra, I'm gonna remember you and your face.
I have been remembering Hydra,
which is weird, but I'll do it anyway.
I've been like, oh, thanks, buddy.
So super cool. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not like I was the first person to get 11x rank 1 legend. I just figured out how to pick up a stupid pet that costs $160, but I was excited because no one else had posted about it or anything. I never seen anyone else do it. So it was kind of cool. And speaking of that pet, I've played way too much Hearthstone this expansion, like more so than normal. And I would never have been able to get the pet to level 3 by now, but I did. I think I got that yesterday. It's like 2000 XP after the first 750 XP you got to get. And I think I like this one the best, actually. Like it's the purple and blue one. It's super, super cool. That one's my favorite. And then now it's 4000 XP on top of all the previous XP to get to the next one, which isn't that bad. I was expecting it to be like 10K or something. So it's not too bad. And then who knows when they'll come out with other ones. Let's just hope that they make it more accessible. Put it on a rewards track or something like that. Like that would be really cool. I'd like to see something like that.
And like if they have the pet reacting with your emotes, yeah, I have it visibly do it while they're doing the audible thing, and then maybe throw in like a yeah or like some sort of emphasis at the end to make it where it's like not obfuscating for our other friends, right? Like
Yeah.
make it not suck for,
sure.
everyone.
Yeah. And then do you guys remember like over a year ago when there was that card back that came out, there was a secret card back, and we did the Battlegrounds challenge together where we had to get
Never finished it. Is this the card back for that like challenge?
Yeah. So I finished it on the weekend, Schmoopydady, last weekend. I could tell you about the rest. Because I
did it last year. I don't remember how to do any of it.
I forgot about it. So a couple of the other challenges are like one of them is when you're on the Hearthstone, like you go into Hearthstone and then you're going to select what deck you want to play with. There's like a little question mark kind of down on the bottom right. You click on that and then you go over like a screen will pop up and some slides are there. You got to go over a couple where it shows like a mana or like a health and attack value. It's like a 2 and a 5 or something. There's like 4 screws holding in like this panel on this window that pops up, and you click the top right screw and it starts a game. And that game is super fun. It's Hearthstone trivia. And so like in there.
Yeah, that one was so fun.
Yeah, you have to match the card image with the card name. That's one of them. There's another one. You got to go to the credit screen, like watch the credits, and you click the bottom left, like kind of in the black zone down there, and it opens up another challenge in there. And then a third one, or the fourth, whatever number we're on, is you need a pre-built deck, and you queue a wild game with this pre-built deck, and it starts a third or the fourth challenge, right? And one of them is actually kind of hard, but it's fun. It's you have to pick which card is older. It shows you 2 cards.
Yeah.
And you have to select which one came out first. Now, you have to do it 50 times, and you have to get 100% accuracy. If you don't get them all, you lose.
The little like calendar thing that I made for Twist when it was a different one every single day. A few people have said that that's really handy for doing that challenge because the card inlay, and that puts it all chronologically. So if you were kind of wanting to acquire this card back, that's just a handy reference to have on your side. That's what got me through it like super easy.
Nice. It doesn't tell you
someone
that
else what told me.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you that. I was like, oh, I can.
Yeah. It doesn't tell you that that's what you're supposed to do. It just shows you 2 cards and you click on one. So the first time I was just like clicking random stuff, and I go, then your hero like attacked their hero, and it did the opponent's hero has like 50 health or whatever, and I did like 30 damage to it. I'm like, what was that? I don't understand. So I had to Google it, and it says, yeah, you pick the older card, and it's random every time. You don't get like the same exam. It's randomized. So it's not like there's you can't cheat, right? Yeah, you actively have to pick the older card. And so you can figure it out. Obviously, as Sheep said, there's the card inlay that shows which expansion it's from. As long as you memorized those logos, those images, you can figure it out. So it's super cool. If you guys haven't done it yet, there's it's like the WoW Secrets Discord is where the information can be found in if you're a part of that.
Really, that I don't have it, just because I've done like the arguably harder one, like the hour and a half,
the maze,
like maze that you don't actually know what you're doing. You're just following a map, which seems very ableist. Did you ever get? Well, may not even know. There's like the secret card back where you go through the maze. That's like
that one was brutal.
it's like a secret mode. Like you click on like the right mercenary's portrait, and then like you find yourself in a maze, and it's like a game within a game. And I know there's a spreadsheet for it telling you visually like what the map of where you're going, but I don't know if there's like an actual good way to navigate that blind. Like I
No,
don't. Have you
so
tried that at all?
unfortunately, so what we had to do for mercenaries, we actually use a different program,
Ew.
Cursor. And so what you have to do is you have to feed it all of the individual coordinates, based on like the XY for moving the mouse, and then it like will essentially like auto click wherever you need it to go. But as far as I know, the person who is maintaining that particular file only mapped out like the base game for mercenaries, like not the all the fun stuff.
I might have misspoke. I don't think it's Book of Mercenaries, not Mercenaries. So like I think like you
Oh,
go to like
oh,
Oh yeah,
Cariel
the solo content.
Story. You go to
Yeah.
Cariel Story and you click on the right spot and it gets you into this like giant maze. And people have done like a is it a like what's the map look like? Is it an Excel? Like Sheep, how
Yeah,
would you
it's
describe
a
it? Because
Google
you're a lot more
sheet. It's a
technical than I
Google
am.
sheet. It's
It's
a
a Google
Google
Sheet.
sheet, and it's like color coded for some of the different, like, here's what you need to get for this, and if you encounter this is which map it is, because there are a few different maps that it could be, so it's not always the right one, the correct one. I
Or
think
different
that one was
spot.
the one that you had to do to get the frost, like snowflake, like kind of that kind of card back, if I recall correctly, or was that?
Do you care about
I think
card
that was
backs?
that
That's a
one.
great question altogether. Like, do card backs
Oh
interact with the
yeah.
game sonically at all? Or are you just
uh,
like,
yeah. So card backs are very much like premium cards. I don't pay any attention to them at all. It wasn't until very recently, and unfortunately, it's part of the gotcha. Um, they had one called Clever Girl, and I don't even know what it looks like, but I want it.
go look it up now?
Um,
Uh, it was in the pet thing.
yeah, I want a cute
Yeah.
card back, but I don't know what any of them look like, so like
You
I
should
can't
do
pick
the
one
hook
out.
card back.
You
If you
probably
want to
have
do
the hook card
maximum
back
trolling, you should just do the hook card back. Do you know what the hook card back does?
Uh-uh.
Okay, this is
Glorious.
fun. Sheep, do you want to take it from here? Because this is like I feel like you could be a
Absolutely.
great auditor for this.
Explain the
So
WoW
so
part
there.
too.
I don't know the WoW part.
Oh, I know the WoW part.
Okay.
All right. So in the WoW part, they introduced this like curse if you fought Hakar or like were influenced by Hakar in some way, where you would get a stat debuff in WoW. But a problem that happened was is like the way that it spread was if you made contact with somebody who had this debuff, you would then gain this debuff.
It wasn't
And they've
supposed to
actually
leave the raid. It was supposed to be within the raid, but it got out
Yeah.
somehow.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it got out and they've actually like used it to study pandemics, like just like as like how diseases spread. Because what would happen was is like lower level characters would get this debuff and functionally be killed because they didn't have any stats after the debuff. And so like pets would die or characters would die. And so now when you play somebody with the Hakard back, you not only automatically have the Hakard back equipped, but the person you play automatically earns the Hakard back and also gains the Hakard back. May I mention, it's kind of pretty in its own way.
It is. It is.
It's got like it's got
Like
feathers
two different
and
colored feathers. One
yes,
is
it's very
blue,
vibrantly
one is
colored.
red.
There's mostly blue with
You probably
highlights of
have
red,
it.
but it's like it's very like it's kind of like cool tones with like really neat highlights is the way I would describe it, where it's like it's a little cheesy because it's like it's so flashy that it's like what is this? So people kind of hate it because it's like troll. But some people like equip it and then never realize they've never unequipped it. But the only way you get it is from someone else queuing into someone else in a game with it. which is hysterical because everybody ends up with the card back. So it's like, I don't know.
I have to look.
And
and see
whenever
if
you
I have
unlock it, it automatically like equips for you, if I recall correctly.
You could actually have it equipped right now and not realize it. That happens to everybody. Like because you just happened to, when it first came out, you happened to get it and then not realize it. And I remember looking over at my card back saying like, when did I get that and where did it come from? And why I didn't equip it, right? So you could be running it right now. I didn't realize I was.
I've discovered, what is this? The Hippogriff Hatchling? Is that the one? No. I looked up Clever Girl and I got Hippogriff Hatchling. All right, never mind. I haven't found it. Continue without me.
Anyways, enough about me. Sheep, how was your week?
Yeah, so this has been a really long week. So I was sick this week, just kind of had like a cold, like upper respiratory thing. You may still be able to hear a little bit of it, but it's mostly gone now. Work was a long work week. I'm halfway to level 3 with my pet. I've got 1,000, just about. I think I'm like 960, 980, something like that. Like, I'm so very close. To halfway.
You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah. So, I've also got a lot of dust from the nerfs, like ton of dust from the nerfs. So very, I would say excited to like bling something out, but like I've got everything blinged out that I'd already wanted. So I'm, sitting on my hoard of dust, like the Dargon that I am. So fun times in our that their Hearthstone, as well. It's been playing a lot more of our format as well. Gosh, a little bit of kind of anything that I've like stumbled upon that's spicy. So nothing particularly noteworthy. I've played like a lot of things for like 2 or 3 games and then deleted the deck and moved on. But that's part of playing like the spicy things is, oh yeah, that didn't resonate with me. That didn't either. Ooh, this one I like. I'm going to get good at this one. So still looking for that thing that I want to get good at in this particular pocket meta. Having a blast doing that thing. So Schmoopydady, how was your week, friend?
Sure. I've discovered the Clever Girl. The Clever Girl is one of the it looks like a lizard skin, and it is one of the rewards from the it's one of the rewards from the King Crush Pokey. So if you're so inclined, you can get it from the Pokey that way.
And it is called Clever Girl because of a Jurassic Park tie-in.
Yes,
for the Aquarian
Jurassic Park joke.
Okay,
yes.
never mind.
The raptor has flanked me. Clever Girl.
I got you.
Yeah, this week I wrote 2 things down. First and foremost, Schmoopy lost a tooth, but not only did Schmoopy lose a tooth, he lost a front tooth. So he was having a moment in the car today where he's like, God, I look funny looking. And I'm like, nah, dude. Like, the thing is about my son is taller than other children his age. He has muscles more like a little man than like children his age. He's like 70 pounds. He's like 70 plus pounds. Like he's freaking massive. Like 35, 36 kilos for the metric group. And I don't think he's a bad looking cat. Like, he kind of looks like me and a little bit like my wife. So like he's not unfortunate look. And I'm like, dude, when you smile, you just look like a hockey player. That's all. So I'm trying to like pep him up a little bit where it's just like, nah, dude, you're just missing your front teeth. It's all good. They're professional athletes that look just like you. Let me show you some pictures. And so, like, you can look up some hockey players that are missing their front teeth. And he's like, oh, yeah, I look just like them. And he kind of perks up a little bit. So that was big.
Nice.
And what was kind of cool was Well, it was kind of funny. His camp was just like, don't pull it out. Do not pull it out. Whatever you do, do not take that tooth out of your mouth. And for whatever reason, they were really freaked out. They didn't want him taking it out of camp. So he came home and he took it out. When he took it out, he just went to the bathroom and he just like, it was like hanging by a thread. He just popped it out. And my mom happened to be visiting. And, my mom, got, oh, let me see. And she got to she got to gush over him as a grandma. And she got to take pictures with him. And so that was really cool watching my mom get to oh, your first tooth. Because that's the funny, goofy one where the kid loses the tooth and they look very different with a gap in their teeth. Like I said, they look like a professional hockey player. But to be honest, my vibe, the rest of what I wrote is just summer. I've actually dodged a stream or two this week because I've been watching Squid Games season 2 with my wife instead of playing Hearthstone. This expansion kind of sucks. I don't know. The Wild's okay. Wild's kind of fun. We'll talk about the balance patch later, but we have to eventually address the quality of card and the the best that they did this week. And I had a lot of fire in my belly to be Grumpy Daddy for the back end portion, but I think our interview portion took a lot out of it because that was an enthralling interview. And so I think I'm gonna I'm gonna have to be a little bit more introspective and a little less visceral based off of that. But May, anything you want to share from your week? How you what went on with you?
Yeah.
How you doing?
This week has been about 10,000 times better than last week. Last week was really, really rough. But this week, let's see. So over the last 3 months, I've been listening to the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. I read them when I was a kid. When I was 7, 8, 9. As the audiobooks were coming out, but I wanted to go back now that I'm an adult and just kind of re-listen to them. And for those who don't know, the books are ginormous. They're
Yeah.
36 to 48-hour audiobooks. And so I was limiting myself to listening to it only when I had downtime. So when I was eating or getting ready for bed or taking a shower or whatever. So it took 3.5 months, but I finally finished it. And so now I'm on the hunt
Nice.
for new entertainment. um
How did it hold up as compared to when you were a kid to now?
I still absolutely adore it.
Interesting. Yeah, because I was thinking I've never read them, so it was something that has crossed my mind at a certain point recently.
What I always tell people is if you can get through the first 3/4 of the first book, you'll be good until you hit about book 9. 9 through 11 is kind of mid. But then the finale of the book, 12, 13, 14, is absolutely phenomenal. I can
That's a
definitely
lot
say
of
it hits,
books.
yeah, it hits different too. Having a lot of estrogen now, I found myself bursting into tears when certain characters would die, and I'm like, I don't even like this character. This character's a jerk. I'm glad he's dead. Why am I crying? But I don't know.
May I encourage you for your next listen, since you said you were looking for something else? Hydra and Schmoopy know where I'm going with this.
Red Rising?
Have you considered listening to the good word of Pierce Brown and the Red Rising series? Because it is incredible.
I've never actually heard of that. So please
Ooh.
DM me because I'm really desperately looking for something to fill the void.
Oh yeah, I got you. I'll DM you right now.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Hearthstone wise, I have been sort of vacillating between top 100 and falling back down to 500 off stream. I pretty much am exclusively playing Dungar Druid because I find the variety of lines and ways to handle different situations extremely interesting. Um, there's like always something new that I hadn't thought of, and like it's fun. Then of course when I get on stream, I then throw a bazillion games and drop all the way down to like 500, 600, 700. Um, having fun playing like Big Spell Mage, which is probably my favorite deck. Or
Yes.
uh, a chatter recently has been they keep redeeming Quest Priest, um, which is not very good, but it's kind of fun when it works. So I keep doing that, and just messing around with different decks that I find either on Donkey or uh, Reddit, or sometimes I will, if I think that they're kind of interesting while Schmoopy is playing a viewer deck. Even if the viewer deck doesn't look very good, I might snag it and play it on stream just for fun.
Dear God.
I absolutely adore Union decks.
Oh my
Yes.
no. Union. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Union doesn't know his behind from his elbow. As far like there are
Correct.
times.
It's great. Those
Okay,
decks
there
are
are times I've
incredible.
highlighted in a video bad deck building because Union literally doesn't know cards exist or forgets they exist and puts in a worse card instead, and it's insane to me. Like it's like, my brother in Christ, you have played MTG, you know what's good and what's bad. So hidden on YouTube someplace, and actually you have access to it now because you became a member on YouTube. I played MTG, or no, I haven't done it yet. I haven't put it up. I will. There's like an hour of me playing MTG Arena with Union,
Oh
playing
wow.
Union decks on MTG Arena.
Oh
And
wow.
Union's idea of fun, May, is mono blue counterspells. Okay. Okay. Can you explain to the people listening what mono blue and counterspells mean?
I want to hear your perspective, so keep on.
My perspective is you sit there attempting to prevent your opponent from doing anything, but at the same time you're doing nothing and you die. That's my perspective. Or they quit because they're frustrated with you. So
So it's
like,
basically like the modern day equivalent of like standard control priest. Terrible, but
Yep, exactly. Hit the nail right on the head.
it's like there were times where we counterspelled something and Union's like, oh, they're gonna quit. And they quit. And I got zero buzz from it because I had no concept of why it was important what we just removed. And then in the next game that we played, would go on for 25 minutes. And at some point, you and me go, all right, we got him if we get this. We got him if we got this. All right, we got it. We got them. We got them. We got them. Oh, they do that. Silence, pregnant pause. Do we win? No. No, we don't win from here.
I think that's like one of my favorite things to do is like take a really bad deck, and like I know it's really bad, but then I like look at all the cards. I'm like, okay, but like, why did they think this was good? Like, how do I try to get it to work?
Dear God, you're
There are
crawling inside
sometimes
the
like I
mind
just
of
give
the
up.
insane, May. You're crawling inside the mind of the criminally insane. It's not a good idea.
Dude, you find some good stuff in there though. Like a lot of things that are not like particularly usable, but a lot of things that are like, oh, that's a good idea, and you can kind of incorporate it into other stuff. I'm with you.
I'm staring at sheep with bug eyes right now. My eyelids are completely open. I'm looking at him with an insane, unhinged look because I am disturbed by his line of thinking. And I am
He's telling
generally
you this as
unsettled
much
and
for me because I
unstable.
was not paying attention to him whatsoever.
So just want to float that out there as like, dear God.
That's too funny. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty much my week. Just trying to really find the equilibrium of life after last week and getting back on my feet, and I'm finally back in a good health space and I'm happy again. I'm
Nice.
hoping we can keep moving forward. So
Yay!
So, Hydra, what's in the news?
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
I hope that's pleasing to your ears. Blue Train hates it.
He does. He abhors it.
All right. So on Wednesday, we had Green and Red Circle Day. Happy Green and Red Circle Day. The day that we're always looking forward to. There's a lonely little circle in the wild section, but obviously standard stuff does affect wild as well. So we got patch 33.0.3, and that dropped yesterday. And so basically it's a bunch of buffs and nerfs early in the expansion, like usual.
16 buffs, 13 nerfs, and
It's a lot
one
of cards.
unban and wild. That's a lot, man.
Yeah, and
How much does it affect our meta?
Negligibly.
yeah.
surely one more nerf, it'll be fine.
Just one more nerf, it's gonna be good,
Just
bro.
one more.
One more nerf, bro. Just give me one more.
So with
I
that
could use the dust.
said, so the dev comment is the exact same thing that they put every time. The old stuff's too good and the new stuff isn't good. So they're nerfing the old stuff and making the new stuff power level higher because they need you to buy packs of new things. Okay, go Schmoopydady.
That said, before the patch came out. Anyway, I think this next patch is impossible. So I'm sure they will be clowned on no matter what. And I think it's unfair.
Mhm.
But I also think they put themselves in this spot. So,
Yeah.
we're in this position, and I was gonna save my grumpy daddy for a little bit later, but I think that now is a good time to unload.
Unleash.
I'm going to unleash a little bit. May strap in. I'm a little bit grumpy. I have been aware and disturbed by the fact that there is a subsect of people who make content for Hearthstone who appear their only motivation for content for Hearthstone is to predict the end of Hearthstone so they have enough clout at correctly predicting when the end of Hearthstone would be. So that when Hearthstone actually ends, they can move on to the next game and they can point to the big blinking sign and say, "See, I predicted it. I have clout."
They're basically doomsayers.
And they're doomsayers, and they
The end
capitalize
is
on the
coming.
doomsaying. And the funny part about it is the way that human interaction is that they can keep doomsaying, and no one ever punishes them for being full of garbo because when they miss the mark, they're not punished for it because people just want to hear the negative thing. The people that are tuning into them.
Mm-hmm.
Except I think they might be right on this one.
Yeah.
People were begging for the power of the standard format to drop, and they were begging for the
some
power
reason.
of the standard format to be lower, and it's
For
been
some reason.
lowered for about 3 sets, and it's boring, and it's not fun, and it can't keep up with the old stuff, and it sucks. And now people are like, well, this isn't really fun. I don't know if I want to play. And not for nothing, like, didn't we say this on this podcast on multiple occasions when people were arguing for this, that like this is a bad idea, that like this is just sort of arguing for boring game design? And so the dev team has taken it safe, and they're doing a power reset, and we don't have any communication about how long this power reset's going to be, because they fired the most eloquent, bought in, best mouthpiece that they possibly could have, in a ridiculous hat, and so he's not here to back it up. And so now we're left with
His
like
contract expired and it hasn't but yet been rehired or
I
whatever.
don't get why he wasn't a
I
permanent. I don't get why he wasn't a
I
permanent
agree.
employee of Blizzard. He was
100%.
he was more valuable to them in so many ways that it's like I feel remiss that I did not more vocally defend my position on my distaste of his dismissing when we had that episode, because I'm not good in those moments. But like, this is a perfect example of when he would have shined. He would have been able to put all of this in perspective and say, okay, this is our vision going forwards. You need to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
And if he had to tell us we had one more set of crap coming, we could have said, thank you, sir, I'll have another, eaten one more set of crap, waited till rotation, and then known that next spring's going to be the banger, right?
Mhm.
But that's not where we're at right now. Where we're at right now is the quests are bad, and the quests are still
Mhm.
bad.
Mhm.
These nerfs and buffs, they shifted some things around, but I know at my MMR, what I'm seeing is like the most popular deck by 20% is Protoss Priest, which is some standard players are going to look at it and they're going to say, oh, well, this just goes to show that in the Great Dark Beyond, the StarCraft mini set was overpowered. No, you're missing the point. You're missing the forest for the trees. The cards suck. And they aren't keeping pace with something that was good, like the StarCraft mini set. And so,
And because the StarCraft mini set was so like completely self-contained and only synergized with itself, you can put in things like the big one that the priest is doing. It's like, oh, I get only good cards from this. Okay. And they're cheaper because I've been doing my thing. Okay. Like, I mean, it makes sense.
it's aggressive and it's straightforward and it's stats and it's simplistic. Here's the thing, it's a very simple approach. You're essentially playing like an aggro tempo value based game style, which according to the creators who have been posting videos that like, you know, they're upset with the place of Hearthstone, they should actually be kind of happy about this, because it's just like minion sticking on the board, minion going face. Like, there's no infinite value generation. There's no burst from hand, really. I mean, a little bit in the Protoss sense, because you're making like Anachronos, but like, I don't know. I'm actually really worried about,
Hopefully.
I'm not a sensationalist. I think I've been clear about that in the time that I've been on the podcast, that I'm not a sensationalist. In the time that people have been sensationalists, I've called them idiots. I'm actually worried. I think the devs should listen less to certain voices in the community and just kind of doing their own thing and balance the game instead of taking feedback, because the feedback they've gotten, from my perspective, has been from people who want to be the ones to be like, well, I was the first to say that Hearthstone is dead. And I don't think those people can be trusted. And the game sucks. Standard sucks. And if standard sucks, that's bad for wild, because if standard doesn't exist, there is no wild.
Right.
So like they you know, Corbett hit the nail on the head where he's just like, this balance pass is impossible. You can't fix everything in one balance patch. Can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, they put themselves in this hole by having the cards be where they are. So I guess from this spot, maybe the mini set makes it better. But like, if the mini set is too
Does it,
strong,
though?
then people are unhappy. The mini set is good, in which case I think they need to just put on blinders and just forge ahead. Because like, I don't know what else to do.
Well, and I think
there's too many
that's the
leaks in the
thing.
ship. Go ahead, sheep. I'm done.
If the mini set is good, then when rotation comes, then like the mini set will be too good, and then we won't get to play that. So like, it almost seems like we're like on the trajectory to like essentially, like you were saying, do like a reset of the power level, and this is set 2 of 3 of that thing, right? Like rotations typically March, right?
I mean, the
Is it
reality,
gonna
right?
survive?
Like, they need to go back to the fundamentals of game design, right? So, like, I'm obviously not in game dev. I primarily have lived in web dev slash software dev. But when you think about good design in general, you want your users to do two things. One, have that aha moment. So in
Mm-hmm.
game design, it's having the ability to, or the perception that my decisions matter. I'm thinking something is
Mhm.
happening, right? Um, Holy Wrath is a
Ma-
good example of where this has gone wrong. In the wild format, there is no longer with Bright Eyed Scout any sort of strategy behind any of it. Like you wait until the Bright Eyed Scout says Ceaseless Expanse, and then you play the card. Um, so we've eliminated in standard in particular a lot of those my decisions matter sort of things. Things stick on the board forever. There's no real analysis that's happening. The other thing is you want to have that like sense of accomplishment or that transaction from like user perspective. Those are the like my deck does a really cool unique thing and I did something. Um
Yeah.
I poke a lot of fun at some content creators who do some really bizarre, I mean, Brandon, great example, bizarre things that would never be competitively viable. But it's that like sense of joy because you accomplished something that's ridiculous. And all of
Yeah.
that has been sapped because we've fallen into this everything must be perfectly balanced. But in reality, if you're making a good game, you actually want things to be slightly unbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Bumping Yetis is so 2014.
We can double back on this when we talk about like the wild meta analysis in our discussion a little bit, because I think there's definitely an imbalance right now, and it might actually be a good thing depending on your perspective and the game you like. I know, Hydra, how have you felt playing standard, and like where do you stand on like where things are balanced or perched, and like if you like it, let me know. Because like I don't know, I tried to play it today and I was pretty frustrated with like it felt to me like it was arena, and like I was going for maximum value the whole time, except for maybe Beast Hunter. Maybe I should queue up Beast Hunter. I don't know.
Right
Mhm.
now, I would say I don't have like my stats pulled up or anything, but most of my opponents are the aggressive priest deck, like the Menagerie Aggro Priest and Demon Hunter as well. It's those two decks. That's also like the aggressive Demon Hunter. We're not talking about two or anything like that.
Have you played much after the nerfs and buffs? Because that's
We'll talk about
actually
that.
switched a bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, so I've seen just a lot of those two decks because they prey on the Murloc quest deck, and because Murlocs can't keep up to it. It's just too slow trying to level up your Murlocs, and they just burn you down ahead of time. And then if you want, you could try to counter that with a very very slow deck, and that is the Quest Warrior. But the mirror is atrocious. It's
Oh, no.
absolutely atrocious. Yeah. I got into I took a screenshot. I showed you guys. I had that hand where you
Oh, yeah.
I had a full hand of all the 10 mana summon, like the top three
Hydration station.
hydration station. Yeah, I had a full hand of that, and I was like, it in the mirror. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna go forever.
Because you gobleted from Marin's treasure into that, just like, oh, chef's kiss, good.
Yeah, it was so good, but it could be quite. So I noticed yesterday, Schmoopydady, did you raid pizza yesterday?
I didn't read pizza. I watched, honestly, the best take that I saw was Regis's video, because Regis is kind of like,
Yeah.
he's kind of like he's a little bit across card games, and he just sort of
Yeah.
pokes into Hearthstone, and like he's a competent player, but he's a little bit casual too. Yeah, I thought he had a pretty good perspective on it.
Yeah.
I did not see pizza though. What did pizza say?
Oh no.
'Cause
I was
I
asking
raid
if
pizza
you
all the time.
if
Pizza's
you
awesome.
Yeah, because I was watching you and I walked away and then I came back and it was on Pizza's channel. So maybe you rated someone who rated pizza. Anyway.
I rated pizza, honestly. I usually just rate pizza.
Okay. So yeah, that was the question. Did you raid pizza? He was playing the Quest Warrior, but he's playing it like in top 100 legend, and he's staying up there, right? So like it works, and because everybody's playing those aggressive decks, if you look at HS replay, it's got like only like a 51%, 52% win rate or something like that. So it's not that great. Whereas you look at those aggressive decks, they're up at like 68% win rate. I'm pulling those numbers kind of out of my butt, but that's basically the reality of it. They're much higher, but yeah, you can counter them all day long, I guess. And I think that's how I was getting a lot of the experience on my pet. I was just playing those games and it was just leveling up the pet so fast. You just sit there playing with it the whole time in these long games. But yeah, I'm excited that they're gonna that they are switching stuff up. Corb's probably right. It's not just like a one patch fix all sort of thing. Somebody did the shaman quest on me yesterday where they did is it Shutter Block that makes your next battle cry is three times?
Yeah, but it can't damage your face in theory.
So
but
they Shutter Blocked
asterisks.
into the quest reward, which is adapt twice. So they actually adapt 6 times. And then the rest of your minions have that for the rest of the game. So they had every adaptation.
We just did that to us in theory crafting, if I recall correctly.
It was
Dane? Did Dane do that?
Oh, was that Dane? I thought it was Regis.
Oh, it might have been
Dane.
Either way, once that happens, you're not winning.
No, you're pretty toast.
And you can do it a little bit faster now. Anyways, we could go through some of these. We don't need to touch on everything as there is like 30 of these nerfs and buffs together.
I can't think of a single one that's wild relevant specifically. I'll be honest. Like these are all my joke when I started my stream the same day as the patch was like they're buffing basically the crap viewer decks and nothing else. Like
So there is one very wild relevant thing, and that is Everburning Phoenix is unbanned and unplayable.
That's it.
Yeah. So Everburning Phoenix is back. If you're curious as to what the new text says is it's Death Rattle, return this to your hand at the end of your turn. So unplayable. You can't do
it is now a 3/2 instead of a 2/2.
Honestly, the other unfortunate nerf for me was immediately below it was Aegis of Light. Goes from 1 mana to 2 mana, but it does get a 2-drop now, right? If I remember correctly. I was playing this weird Chinese Lanessa Paladin. I think I got the right blood elf, but I don't know if I didn't. Cancel me, I guess. So like what you're supposed to do is like save up coins and stuff so that you drop Lanessa. Again, I hope I'm getting the right blood elf. If not, cancel me. And so you're like printing mana because 1 coin times 2 coins. And then you can play something like whatever the deal 2 rogue spell is that gets you a coin. You play that, and then you get 2 coins from that, and then you play 2 coins, and now you can play both Rebuke and Cold Feet on the same turn. And if you happen to play like Showdown, you get 6 cowboys instead of 3. And if you play Beam, you get 2 beams instead of 1. So like this was a one of in that deck as like one spell you played, so that the 1 mana like grab a spell from your deck and also grab a normal like a spell that didn't start in your deck was not just a cantrip, but it was also like a get a card for free kind of deal. That's the other most relevant wild change I can possibly think of is like the 30th card in a 29 card fringe list. Like it just Murmur, maybe Murmur being the only the first card you do is kind of brutal because we were sort of using it in Reno it's cut it. So a lot of decks cut it. So whatever.
I mean,
Like,
Brain Masseuse is now worse, but it's
Oh, Brain Masseuse is a good shout. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the 3/2, but like it's a 1 mana 2/3. Like it's still a crazy
it's
amount
still
of
good.
tempo.
Still a good card.
You still
Still
play
good.
it.
Still disgust. Like I can kill it with Aftershocks now. Yay.
I like that it has 3. Like there's weapons that can take it out now. There's just it's way more killable, but it's still a great card.
So that's wild relevant, but
It wasn't a wild patch. It was a standard patch, and it was also a standard patch that was impossible to solve all of standard problems because standards problems stem from something much deeper and much more systemic
Yeah.
and something that we have to weather. So it's like, May, did anything like jump out at you about the patch that you're just like, oh, you're excited about, or you wanted to try, or with like anything that like just sort of like sparked your fancy?
Not really. As I mentioned, I haven't really been playing a lot of standard because I've been finding it to be very boring. But I actually need to sit down this week because THL starts again next week. And so I need to figure out what things are happening in standard.
oh, same. Thank you.
One thing that I guess I am somewhat excited about is that the Rogue Quest is now no longer a 20% win rate quest, but now it's 36%. So
Yo, 30, wait, 20
Almost
from 30
double.
to 37? Is that a
They were
17-point jump?
Oh my god, that's something.
I believe so. I'm pretty sure I read that
Almost.
somewhere. So it's almost playable.
The
I
problem
played a
is
few games of that today. I won a couple.
you have to play those if you're an achievement hunter, like if you want to get XP on the rewards track through achievements, you have to play some of these awful decks. Like there's a demon hunter one that's an awful achievement. There's a warlock one that's an awful achievement. There's I think a priest one that's an
Down
awful
generally, but yeah, like there's fewer of them, but you're not wrong.
Yeah. So like I was leaving them all until we got this. Like I've already completed the Death Knight one, the Shaman one, the Paladin one. I've done a lot of them. I did the complete 50 quests one on like day 2 or something because the Murloc quest just completes itself over and over and over again. And so
nice.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So you can get like 5-6 procs in like a game if it goes long, like on that quest, that achievement. I mean,
Nice.
So yeah, just play that one if you're doing that. But it's funny. I did the Death Knight achievement without even playing Death Knight because it's to play. I think it's like undead beasts. Yeah, and so it's only from dropping amalgams in the Murloc deck.
You could have done it with Deathstalker Rexar, by the way, if you were a real OG. Okay.
This is true.
All right.
This is true.
The fact that we have while trying to talk about like anything that we've opened up, that this patch has opened up, for Wild, just talking about completing quests, I think is pretty telling.
I have one major thing to say though, that this is a massive oversight that has been fixed. Okay, so Opu the Unseen, okay, now reads, okay, get this. Opu the Unseen, they buffed it, it now has stealth. You mean it was Opu the Seen?
You really can't see him.
Hey, hold on. I'm confused. You guys can see him the entire time? I'm just kidding.
And you know, the thing is, now with the stealth, I can still see him.
Damn. I'm lucky.
You can see as stealth.
I think it's so funny that they added. It's almost like they forgot to put it on the card. It's called Opu the Unseen, and then when they buff it,
stealth.
They give it stealth. It's that one blew my mind. I'm like, how is that the buff? I thought it had. No, I guess it didn't have stealth. Anyway, so they're making the here's something that Blister Guy pointed out on Walk to Work, that a big problem with the quests is that a lot of the rewards are like a 5 mana 8/8 that buffs something for the rest of the game or does something for the rest of the game or whatever, right? And this day and age, a 5-mana 8/8, like back in the day when you're bumping Yetis, that would have been cool to drop 5-mana 8/8s, but it doesn't really do anything, right? At least something like the Murloc quest is going and going and going and doing something.
I'm shocked. The Murloc quest must be a tester for future quests of just like, well, what if we just had the reward and the reward was just like there and it just did the thing. And you didn't have to pay any mana for it, you just got a benefit. Because the Murloc quest, the quality of the Murloc quest is so clearly above all the other quests just from an eye test that I'm sure that it was intentional. Like they knew it was going to be better than the other quests.
You do start off with
you have no way of knowing how it's going to play out, but you just know it's better than the other quests.
Mage has been really fun too. Like only
Mage
a 3-mana weapon, and it's kind of opened up some things in our format that are possible.
Arena Warrior,
not good, but possible.
Quest in Arena Warrior has been fine. Better than I expected. I'll admit it. People are like, "Oh, this is going to be in the Arena Warrior." You're going to do it. I'm like, garbage slop. It's actually been okay. I've won multiple games because Time Warp is busted. Right? Like it's actually kind of funny.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
dude, Galvadon Time Warp. Like I've lost to that deck.
That's
with that before. It's like, well, you got me. GG. That was fun. I let him hit me with it. It was great.
Don't underrate Gigafin into Crystal Core. Like every single one of those Murlocs is a 5/5 now. Like there are some really funny Murlocs that are understated for their like, you know, all of a sudden they're 5/5s for their understated costs. It's a lot of tempo. Like if you're in one of those like rated out games, that can actually be pretty okay. I didn't see the vision. I thought it sucked. It still sucks.
We could run KJ too. Yeah.
You by and large probably shouldn't run it.
No.
But
you can.
It's like you can get away with running it. The DH quest, like they buffed the DH quest. I have a burning passion to count. How much damage am I leaving on the table to complete the quest, the Yogg darned quest? Versus how much damage I end up dealing when the quest is completed after I've put my 5-mana 8/8 down. Because I am unstable because of it. Because people keep sending me this deck. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with it. Like I know how to build it now. I wish I didn't. I'm cursed with this knowledge.
It's a fun deck.
It's not. Stop it. No, it's not.
I said fun. I didn't say good. I said
Ball Hog Steel 2 now. Ball Hog Steel 2.
But it's bugged. It doesn't actually count.
It doesn't count?
They took Hog. I have been waiting for Ball Hog to be a good card for so long. I looked at it the minute it came out. I'm like, this is a good card. It's got lifesteal. It deals 3 damage. It dies. It deals 3 damage. It's a good card.
It's been good multiple times.
It found a home, and now they've turned it into a meme because instead of dealing 3, it deals 2, and I can't. I just can't. I'm breaking down.
May, did you say that it wasn't counting? It wasn't proccing?
I read something somewhere today where somebody completed the quest, played the quest reward, and then they had a board full of ball hogs, and then somebody killed the ball hogs, and they expected it to do 2 damage, then stack on the 2, and then it didn't.
So what I think is happening, because I saw that too, and what's happening is that they're popping on the opponent's turn. So even though the quest reward doesn't say on your turn, it looks like it's still coding like on your turn. So something like a ball hog, which is technically you doing that 2 damage, but it's not on your turn. So that's what I think is happening.
That quest is sus because I expect to use the pain drink, right? I expect to use the pain drink and take 4, and I take 2. And I don't know. Like the minion I played it on takes, but I don't take 4. It's very confusing. I'm never going to be a lawyer for Hearthstone cards because
guess-
arguing for Hearthstone cards is like it's asinine. Like there's no logic behind it. It's all how it's coded. And you like Kazakhstan works with the mage weapon.
It sure does.
It's coded as a discover. Zephyrus isn't, even though Zephyrus says discover.
Uh-huh.
You cannot go by what the text says. It's by what it's coded by. You need to know what it's coded by and just go by that. And what it is.
Just like how the reward doesn't say your turn, even though the prerequisite for completing the quest does. Like you said,
So
Schmoopy, it's
silly.
the way it's coded, not the way it reads.
Frustrating.
I guess one of the things that I'm excited to explore a little bit is the Quest Priest actually in Wild. I've been playing a lot of it. As I mentioned.
Yeah, they changed it to 4 instead of 5, I think. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, for
like, one
each.
of the things when we were
sorry.
looking at the spells that like go into the deck, like one of the things we were struggling with is like holy spells kind of suck. And so like there's this like awful
Yeah.
balance between a lot of shadow spells and not a lot of holy spells, and it's hard to find that fifth one sometimes. Um, but I think it'll be easier now. I'm still not. I mean, I've won with the deck. I beat a lot of Miracle Rogues with it.
Nice.
But not sure. I don't know. I think it'll be fun to experiment with to try to see if I can like try to make it not be terrible.
Yeah.
Somebody hit legend with it in our Discord. Who posted that?
I believe it was
Pokeniner.
Pokeniner.
Yeah. I had to
Yeah.
be Poke.
Yeah, so
I'm glad that they hit legend with it. That makes me happy. I know that was something they were very determined to do.
well, there you go.
That's who's been making me play
It's
it.
possible. It's possible.
No surprises.
Yeah. It's definitely possible.
It's a fun deck. I mean, like having the 5 damage. Oh, that is one thing I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about audio. The explosion from the 5 damage is the most horrifically painful. It's just like the Kill Jaden portal. Whatever audio cue, like absolutely like hurts my eardrums every time.
Oof.
Like no matter
Nuts.
how I have the sound set up, like I can have the audio turned down super low,
Yeah.
and it's still like the frequency of like the like popping. It's just awful.
Must be resonating with part of your ear or something like that.
I found it interesting when you pointed out Hearthstone and like the sort of 3D sound that it has. You may not realize because a lot of people are just playing on their phone. I was picking up my wife from work one day and I was sitting in my truck and I queued up Hearthstone, not realizing that it was hooked up to Bluetooth in my truck. And I was like, this game sounds awesome when you have like surround sound.
Oh yeah,
you can
I play with
hear-
headphones a lot, and it's super noticeable there.
Yeah, like you can hear like where every minion is on the board and like where they're exactly coming from, or like that King Crush is like when your opponent has it, it's in like the top right hand corner. I wear a headset every time I play. From when I played Diablo 4, obviously it doesn't really matter as much anymore. But in Diablo 4, you had to use 3-dimensional audio and partial echolocation to quickly navigate through dungeons and stuff. And so I love the audio design for most things, just not warrior or warlock portraits.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's a good shout out to the audio team, the audio engineers and everything on Hearthstone that maybe people don't think about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Unsung
cool.
heroes, as it were.
The unsung heroes. There was one thing at the bottom of these patch notes. I didn't realize like this was happening, but under the bug fixes and improvements, it's mostly battleground stuff. But there's one
fun
saying
away.
Hamul's rune totem effect can no longer be stacked if in your deck multiple times. Schmoopydady, are you aware of this?
So there's some brawls where you could like pick 2. And you could pick
Oh, is that why?
pick like
'Cause I was like, how are
Hamul and like
how are
a
people putting it
benign.
in twice?
You pick Innervate, and every time you play Innervate, like You have 15 immovals in your deck, so it imbues 15 times. Dude, you can't have nice
Every
things.
other innervate. That makes it
Yes,
significantly
correct.
worse. Technically correct is the best kind of correct.
That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering what that was about because I didn't realize that one was even a thing. I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
it
you
was
could.
busted. It was busted in the
Uh-huh.
pick 2 brawls that they neglect to balance because, like, I don't know, they forget about patches annually. So
And
Yeah.
then Biggin.
Well,
That was me, some Biggin.
that was it. We'll see if stoked to see if the quest priest actually is somewhat viable. I don't know. Anything that is new and you can play in wild is always exciting for me. So maybe it'll be a thing, maybe it won't. But speaking of wild decks and stuff, let's move into a little bit of our discussion topic, which is going to be about wild decks and the wild meta. So let's start off with James Corbett posted basically a bit of a breakdown of what's good right now in wild. So Schmoopydady, you shared this with us. Do you want to give us a little bit of a breakdown of this chart?
sure, I'm gonna go for the latest statistics right now, actually, with my super duper statistics powers. All right, if we go to top 5K, because that's, I think, probably pretty okay. All right, if we look at, all right, 5K still isn't good. Let's do Diamond through Legend. Diamond through Legend. Yeah, all right. All right. So here's how this meta is basically playing out. If you want to play aggro, you play Discard. If you aren't playing Discard Warlock, you are throwing. If you want to play aggro. If you're not playing aggro, you probably want to play something that beats aggro, which means you play some sort of control pile, which means you play Highlander Warrior, or you play Hostage Mage, or you play Seedlock. Seedlock is probably the best deck in the format right now, because Seedlock has transformed itself from being a let's cheat out as many giants as we can as quickly as we can on turn 3 to a let me remove can and then hit you with inevitability at the end type deck. So you're either playing aggro, which is functionally just disco, or you're playing some sort of Reno or XL or pile that can remove disco boards and outheal a Soul Barrage. I think right now Warrior is the best it's ever been in Wild. Have you ever seen one Eternium Rover versus a Soul Barrage? Can you imagine mathematically how that plays out? It's a one mana 1/3.
I can.
It takes when it takes a damage, it gives you 2 armor. So let's say the Eternian Rover takes 3 hits from the Soul Barrage. You take 2 hits. The Rover is dead. You gain 4 armor from the interaction. It's just goofy. Like Warrior is just in a position where it can out armor Disco. It can clear Disco boards. It's in a great spot. You can play your stupid quest if you want to, so you can beat slow decks. You can you can beat you have enough disruption. You can pretend to beat combo if you want to try and beat combo. It's just in a great spot.
You're often not doing anything on turn 1 anyway, right? So I may as well play a quest. Why not?
And if you're not playing if you're playing combo, your issue is you get farmed by Disco. So Disco is a high population because it's a cheap deck and it's powerful and it's pushing out all their aggro decks. If you're playing control, you're sitting pretty because all the combo decks like Holy Wrath or whatever, that loses to Disco. So right now
I've
it's
been
like
playing
the
Hostage Mage. Yeah.
Yeah, right now it's like the true Reddit format. Like if you want to play your unplayable pile of cards, you can kind of do it as long as you tech in enough survivability, life gain, board clears. You can play whatever pet cards you want. Guys, I am looking at Arena Warrior list, and I'm considering what cards to cut to stick in old Cthulhu cards. Like that's the kind of meta it is.
Cool.
So like we have a unique opportunity. I don't think Wild's always going to be this slow, but I think it's going to be kind of low key, high key, historically slow right now. May, because you've experienced Wild at a higher level than me, because I've been playing viewer decks, which has been essentially sandbagging me below any competency that I would respect. How have you found the Wild meta at a higher level?
Yeah, it's a little less diverse than it was for sure. There for a little while, I was seeing a lot of different things. Lately, I'm seeing mostly discard warlock, seed lock to counter the discard warlocks. A little bit of hostage mage, although not as much as I used to, which is really interesting. Quite a few Dungar mirrors. Although I did get a friend request 2 days ago, 3 days ago, to inform me Dungar is dead. So just in case if you didn't know, Dungar is apparently
Thanks, Corky.
dead.
Good info. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
Um,
Not for me.
He's playing down by me, by the way. So like he might not know what he's talking about. Unlucky.
yeah,
Poor
I
buddy,
mean
poor guy.
it's working fine for me, like at like a 63% win rate. So but
Dang.
I'd say like the other
good.
thing that I see like a handful of is Big Shaman, and that's just about it, honestly.
Was it
Yeah, it's
running
like
target dummy?
No, but I love that list. I've gotten a target dummy lethal.
Oh
I think it's a
Yeah.
great include.
oh,
It's actually really funny because during THL last season, I cut the Mechmorphers. Um, and the reason I did it is because I was seeing a lot of Pirate DH and Pirate Shaman and Shadow Priest, and I wanted to be faster. Um, and so I went all in on scams, but I mean, it really wasn't like a great idea at the time, or so I thought. And then I saw Dr. Light's Big Shaman, and absolutely, like, I'm in love with it again. It's a guilty pleasure.
it's a solid philosophy. I don't know if it's the best build for Big Shaman, but like I can follow it with why he made the decisions he made. And also like four walking mountains just don't win games. Like
Mhm.
9 times out of 10. Like there's just sort of damp squibs. Um Glug doesn't win games. If I see Glug and I'm playing Pirate DH, I'm ecstatic because like I know I can punch through it, right? So like it makes a ton of sense that he made the decision he made, and maybe that's the right way to play it. I don't know, but I'm with you, having showcased the deck. Obviously, like it makes sense. So
I did see. Oh, sorry, Schmoopy. I didn't mean to cut you
no
off.
no I'm an adder.
I did see an interesting Big Shaman. I think it was yesterday, maybe it was this morning. I can't remember. I snuck in a couple of games. I think during lunch. At work, and um, I'd never seen the card Criminal Lineup before, and
Oh,
I was
that's I know where that's from.
yeah, I was on Dungar Druid, and I was headed into my combo turn. I was like, oh, I'll be fine. Bio project, whatever. I'm perfectly set up. I'll be all right. On their board, they had a Neptulon, but I got rid of one of its hands, so I was like, okay, they can't possibly kill me from here. And then they criminal lined up the hand, and all of a sudden they've got a board full of hands.
Oh.
And I was very sad because I
That's
very much
That's an
died.
old list. They're running criminal lineup because they're hoping that Anara, the Anara mind virus, which is what I call it because that bird sucks. The Anara mind virus will cast it for free from the deck. and it's supposed to cast it on Anara if you can. So you'll get a criminal lineup on Anara, and now you have 4 Anaras. And basically, you turbo through your deck, you stat dump. Crazy stuff happens, chaos ensues. But that's the idea behind it. Is they must have been running the poo poo bird as well, alongside of the good cards, for you to see a criminal lineup. That's the only sane reason why they're running. If they cut an aura and they're running criminal lineup, you are absolutely scammed because they should not be. Nobody wants to pay 8 mana for that. That's just mental.
Yeah, but I would say like probably like 85% of my games are into discard warlock right now. Yeah, occasionally I run into a cringe lock, where they're deleting like half my deck. I'm usually not too like super stressed out about those games because they're fairly straightforward.
And like that deck exists because disco is so popular, right? Like all you need to do is like deny resources and clear boards and you're good to go. So something that like dupes, like it's got void contract, it's got board clears, it's got healing, it's got, you know, defile, it's got insert, you know, warlock removal. Warlock is the best removal in Hearthstone. You know, you can run cataclysm if you want to. I only lose 2 cards and you're okay with it because your deck sucks. So like the other cards in your hand don't really matter. So like, you know, that's
They're just other removal anyway.
right. It's just other removal. It's like, all right, well, I'm mortgaging my removal. Can they really make? It's kind of okay. The other kind of like, you know, thing that's kind of popped up in the meta that I know Sheep wants to talk about a little bit because Sheep actually played more of it than me, I think, at this point, was Nazmani Priest. I have found some joy in this Nazmani Priest popping up because when Corbett highlighted it, I was like, oh no. Because Corb goes, this is not a drill. Nazmani Priest is real. I'm like, oh no. And then we looked, oh, they're buffing a charger and the charger's going. People might not realize it, but Nazmani Bloodweaver got buffed, stealth buffed. When you have multiple Nazmani Bloodweavers on the board, which May affectionately calls Ableist Priest minus the affectionately, those discounts are applied immediately. So if you play a spell and it goes to discount a spell, that discount's applied immediately. And if you have multiple Nazmanis, they're all applied at the same time. They didn't used to be. They used to be played one at a time, at a time, at a time. So it was like almost like a skipper, armor smith type situation. It had to count every tick of armor. And then if you had a rock star, it then had to go and think about every other tick of armor after that tick of armor has been applied. That's completely streamlined now. I have seen so many turns where people have dug out lethal. The turn starts sloppy. They're like, I don't have light speed yet. I don't have bore yet. I don't have a second Nazmani yet. And I'm watching OTZ and KVLT play the deck, and they just sort of dig the turn out. And all of a sudden, they're like, they have lethal. They have the magic combination, and they go for it. And they either find it or narrowly miss it is disturbing. Sheep, how did you find the deck?
Yeah.
I mean, how did you like the deck? I guess what I'm like looking for mostly.
Honestly, I really enjoyed it. You know, you get a Nazmani out there early, it dies or it doesn't, and if it doesn't, like you just kind of go to town. The number of times that like you're talking about just removing your opponent's stuff, like being a viable strategy, the number of times where I'm like, oh, I've got a Nazmani on board, I can just like, or maybe even not initially, and you know, I create one either with the 1 mana res effect or
Dead. Yeah. Animate Dead.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it's really good.
Dead. And then just kind of go off, and then all of a sudden I have a board, and that's now buffed, and then my Disco Lock opponent does not have a board anymore. And I made sure to give a thing Divine Shield before I copied it multiple times with the one that just is the one the one health, and then I also had the 1 mana heal everything by 3, and then if something's still damaged, then you draw a card. So like I've got a board and it's got like health to it. So if they like Soul Barrage, I'm still good and I just win. And then I can also OTK if I need to. Like I've mostly been playing on mobile. So like I haven't done the OTK very often because it's just the way that at the very least I play mobile. It's harder to do those kind of APM things. That said, I've still done it like once or twice. It's been a thing that I could do if I'm like, oh yeah, I have all the cards in my hand right now at the beginning of the turn. I know as soon as the like turn starts, I'm just like immediately starting. It's super doable. It's fun.
It's
I'm
not an
sorry that
animation
the
cheat deck, right? Like it's
no.
not like I've seen people be like, "Oh, well I found a new animation cheater deck." And then like you watch people play it on stream and it's like they're streaming with latency and they're still okay. I watched I watched Booger Worm playing the deck and had an agonizing game where they got two boars. Their opponent was at 36 health and they got two boars up to 8. They got two boars up to 18 attack. And they attacked with one boar. And Booger was about to attack with the second boar. And his turn timer ended. And I swore he swung the attack, but it was like the stream latency. It delayed him. He didn't get to attack with the boar. He did not find lethal. The opponent was hard running MC Tech, stole the boar, and found reverse lethal.
Oh wow.
Booger, I know it hurts. Like this is the game that ended his stream. Like he went and for like the next hour and a half, like talked about like wild streamers and like cool pivots and like doing a second channel. It was like, oh, look at how Roth did this really cool second channel, or let's look at like, you know, Raren when he does Hearthstone stuff versus non-Hearthstone stuff. Like this game ended his wild stream. But I was like, Booger, you gotta put that on YouTube, dude. That's too freaking cool that happened. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's like peak
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah.
It is.
There was one where I had like two things that could go face, and I played enough of the things to where even on mobile I was able to the light speed, so I could bump. Then the tourist, which like switches one thing because I needed another rusher, and so I light speeded that, hit in. So I got through Righteous Protector, hit in for I was going for 36, so 18 damage. Use my other tourist to move it over so that I had that damage because I knew that with the APM that I wasn't going to be able to do it. And so I was able to actually get through and be able to get
100%.
all
Yeah.
the damage that I needed on mobile through a really tricky kind of like fun to navigate, like get through the taunt and divine shield, but still do 36 and with the time constraint still. It felt May earlier talking about that, like I feel like I earned that, like that kind of
Yeah.
feeling of being rewarded for it, like that was one of those games where it's like I felt that, and then I haven't had one of those in a you know a few weeks, so like that was a really fun one.
And honestly,
Yeah, I'm
like,
just-
if you get to play,
Go ahead,
like,
man.
sorry, I was just gonna say if you get to play, you know, 18, 19 cards in one turn, it feels so great. I just wish the audio was a little less abrasive.
Yes, hard agree.
That's cool. I'm glad that you had fun with that sheep because I always think that's neat where you felt like you did something smart, like using the tourist at the exact right moment to make sure that you could get through, you know, a certain minion, and then you calculate it out. It's not just calculating lethal. It's like the can you find lethal puzzles? Right?
Well, and I had two tourists because like I had either from the soothsayer or some other reason. I can't remember because it was mobile, so there's no replay.
That's awesome. May, have you played the Boomsday puzzle, the challenges from Boomsday?
No, I really wish that I could. So, I am an avid chess player, and one of the things that I really like is like I have this it's a fully accessible app on my iPad where I can actually like do different like challenges to like identify like how to get mate in a certain number of turns.
Nice.
I would love to have something like that, like spotting lethal, because I feel like as a chess player, being able to like identify, different lines, like not in the moment, but like really like being able to like expand my thinking process about like, how all of the different pieces interact with each other and like really build that like mental model is like key to what made me a better chess player. And I feel like if I had that available for Hearthstone, that would be fantastic. But I do not. I'm lucky.
Yeah, there used to be this guy, what was it, around like Mean Streets of Gadget time that would put out like lethal puzzles. I say guy because he was like a coach thing with one of those sites that did like a free trial,
Was it Life
whatever.
Coach?
No, it wasn't.
Rope coach.
Yeah, I was gonna say rope coach.
But like, like it was, those would come out on the regular for a while, and I think he stopped in, I think it was around during Mean Streets and stopped in around like 2018 or so. But those were around for a while, and those were just like really fun, and everyone really enjoyed them. I don't know whatever happened to that dude.
Not to get on a soapbox, but this is a prime example of why we need integrated accessibility from the company instead of depending on an independent third party to maintain the accessibility app. Because, like, I mean, even right now, I cannot play Arena, even though I really want to, because we just don't have the support, like, from our development community to build it. And so, like, that's why building accessibility from the ground up is. But I'll get off.
Gotcha.
And you don't need to get off of it, please.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
really,
guess I didn't even
sorry,
realize that they have to cater it to every single mode, right? It's not like they made it for Hearthstone and it works with everything. It's like dedicated to each mode. That has to be, I guess, programmed for each one. Hey.
yeah, and unfortunately, like the repo is currently one random blind developer in Russia. Um, and like he does really great work, but like we just don't have enough people who contribute to the code base. And admittedly, like I'm part of the problem because as a software engineer, I could dedicate more time to it, but I spend all day long, at a full-time job developing. I don't want to do that. I just want to enjoy the game. And that's where I wish Blizzard would, take up the mantle. And I mean, when a patch rolls out, uh, End Effects, he's got it, fully coded up in, less than 12 hours or, less than 24 in like a long period of time. But like when an expansion launches, blind players don't get to play right away. We have to sit and wait, 12, 24 hours. Everybody else, gets to jump directly into all the new fun stuff. Which is a little frustrating, but at least I get to play the game. We weren't sure if we were actually going to be able to patch it this last time because I think it was the pet, but I'm not exactly sure. But something was creating compile errors within the code. And so we thought this was going to be the end of blind players playing Hearthstone.
Well, hopefully the support shows up. I feel bad that it's just this one guy in Russia that's working on this, and good for him for doing this, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
and I mean to be fair to Team 5, right? Like they do provide the code slightly ahead of time, and we had a really great community manager who communicated with us to like help navigate the incongruities because like we don't know the Hearthstone code base very well. We're not Hearthstone devs. But you know, they're there providing support. Hat and Celestalon are both in. We have a dedicated Discord space for blind players, and both of them are there. They're active. communicating with us and hearing our moans, groans, complaints, just like, all over the rest of the internet, which is kind of cool. But it's just, first party versus third party. It's like the way I like to describe it is like if you're building or baking like a blueberry muffin, right? Um, if you wait until the muffin is cooked to try to put your blueberries in, doesn't really work, right? Like your muffin's gonna fall apart. It's super jank. Whereas
Yeah.
if you build it in during the baking process, it runs, seamless. And that's the same for accessibility. If you bolt it on later, eventually it's just going to fall apart because it's super brittle.
Well, unfortunately, Hearthstone is spaghetti code, apparently.
Hmm.
Dish entirely.
Spaghetti, unbaked, notoriously brittle too.
Yeah. I think I speak for all of us for just saying having you on this episode may really, really sheds a lot of light on a whole bunch of things about the process, on how it works to be using these programs and how it works with Hearthstone and just everything else in the interview section. It was really great and an honor to have you on the episode. So I want to thank you for that.
I mean, I'll be 100% honest. Sorry. I'm a huge fan of y'all's. I was really surprised when you reached out before theory crafting and when you reached out again to ask me to be on the show.
Well,
I
thank
really
you.
look up to you guys, and so I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Well, it's a small community, and we look after our own. And it's been a pleasure having you on. And I know I found the interview portion enthralling, and I think it was a really good podcast. So I appreciate having you on because you have definitely been a positive contribution to our podcast just by being on it. And I hope I can do justice with the unrelated advice question when we find the opportunity to bring that up.
Yeah, and I can't really find the right words to express that. Just it really means a lot, and thank you for those kind words. And yeah,
Can you tell the listeners how people could find your stream or anything else that you would like to plug?
Yeah, for sure. You can find me on Twitter. I refuse to call it the other name. Twitter, Blue
Right on.
Sky, Twitch, YouTube. There's an IGN article out there, but if you read it, they misgender me because I wasn't out yet. All at Tylenife. That's TYLENIPHE. You can also catch me being super obnoxious and annoying and goofy in just about every major content creators Discords or Twitches. Also at Tylenife.
Unrelated Advice with special guest of the week.
May. It's tradition for me to awkwardly say your name very directly, addressing you. The answer to the question before I answer it. And by answer it, I mean ask it. But like it's been a long podcast, and I've had much to drink. But on a serious note, I just want to say that it's been wonderful having you on. You have been a wonderful addition to the wild community. You've been very generous with your time, and your streams are wonderful. And I wish you nothing but successful in the future. But also, you deserve it because you're a fantastic player, and you're absolutely positive. I've seen a lot of my community come out. And I can't always attend your streams but whenever I am, I'm noticing that a fair portion of my community, like Philip and other people, are hanging out and having a good time and sticking around, and like they wouldn't do that out of the kindness of their heart. They're having a genuine good time, and you're fantastic. Which is where sort of the basis of my final question goes, which is unrelated advice. Is what is like the lowest hanging fruit as far as accessibility goes, I suppose, for just gaming in general? Because unrelated advice isn't supposed to be just for Hearthstone, it's supposed to be for just sort of any gaming. So for as a blind person, what is the lowest hanging fruit? What is the number one accessibility you must do that you are looking for when you sit down and you play a game that is supposed to be blind accessible?
Yeah, so it's sort of three parts actually.
Okay, that's fine.
The first piece is audio design in general. I want to be immersed. Want, I know it's a meme nowadays, but I want peak agency, meaning that I have the ability to not just get from point A to point B, but explore all of the destinations along the way, um, to really be a part of the story. The second piece is probably the easiest from a game design perspective, which would be menu narration. If your UI is text based in any form, then I need the accessibility hooks to be present for my screen reader or text to speech engine to hook into it, to be able to read aloud that text. Because I can figure out just about anything else. I was an avid Super Smash Bros. Player. I played all sorts of games growing up, but I always had to have somebody help me with the menus because I couldn't see them. Um, and the third really comes back down to the community. Gamer culture really revolves around what I like to call an ocular centric paradigm. We use a lot of memes or pictures or imagery to convey meaning. But what a lot of people don't realize is that in just about every platform where you're communicating and creating that culture, there's an ability to embed nowadays what is called alternative text. You're essentially describing what is the purpose of using this image, what is it supposed to capture, the feeling, what is happening in the image that conveys that meaning. It's not necessarily describing every little detail. Usually, what I tell engineers is you want to treat it like an old-fashioned tweet, where you're looking at like 140 characters. Obviously, the imagery means something to you. That's why you're using it. I find that even in the most inclusive communities, people don't think about the ways that others are communicating or the ways that they consume information. Um, and so I find that when we take a moment and pause and we reflect and we think about what does this image mean to me? What does it mean to my audience? Then we're a little bit more cognizant of how we're engaging, which then creates a better world in general. But also makes it so I can actually, get the giggle out of the funny or be grossed out by whatever is gross or um, because otherwise, all my TTS says is image, image, image. And that doesn't really do anything for me. Like cool image. That's great. But those three things sort of all combined because like when you play a game, at least nowadays, like it's not just a individual experience, but a collective one, and you can't be a part of the collective if you're not fully involved in that collective, if that makes sense.
Wiser words were never spoken, and you heard that on.
Born to be wild.
Hooray! Good episode, everyone.
That was a really good episode.
That was so much fun.